Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of A Tale of Dice, which is apparently the way that you say A Tale of Dice nowadays, because I am the game master of this game, and I decide how it goes. I decide. You are nothing to me!
Okay, bye!
Except for my very cherished friends who I love to make this story with. So I'm very glad that you're all here today, as this is the first episode that all y'all have reached level 2. We've talked about it. We have made sure that no more errors are in any of your character sheets, and all y'all have also have gotten a little small bonus, because this might also be the good time to for our viewers that do like Pathfinder 2nd Edition and would like to know how we are playing the game. We are using one of the variant rules. Normally on 5th level, 10th, 15th, and 20th level, you get a lot of ability score increases, which makes your character more powerful. However, we are choosing to use the variant rule that lets them spread out. So each level, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, all y'all are getting one ability score increase, so that your character grows a little bit more naturally, I guess. So yeah, so all you have also given yourself a little bit of a nice little added bonus to one of your ability scores, giving you a little bit of an edge over the rest of the characters, which is probably a good thing, because all of your clues that you are gathering about the ringing, the crystal plague here in the city of Farwater, are slowly but surely leading you towards more deadlier encounters, foes, and challenges. So, without further ado, shall we play a game? And we're back. So, to jump back into the game, last we left off, our heroes were following one of these clues, one of these leads that might lead them to the source and the reason that the crystal plague, the ringing, is ravaging the city of Farwater. This lead being Yenny Carpenter, a skilled, quaint, very jovial human bard who was giving free lessons in one of the big parks of Farwater, South Stem Park to be exact, a place where the local students, but also the other locals would just gather to exercise, enjoy nature, and also enjoy the lessons of Yenny Carpenter in her bardic arts, teaching all different kinds of beginners to meteors to highly skilled people in the art of playing the violin. A skill that you might figure hides her true intentions of, for whatever reason, spreading this crystal plague and spreading the ringing throughout all of Farwater. And so, you have decided to interrogate her, see if you could poke some holes in her story, and decided now to tail her after her day of teaching people in the park is done. While the rest of your party members were scattered throughout the city, all of you, just at the end of last session, were able to converse once more. And right now, we will say that all of you are grouped up, the 5 of you, running through the streets of Farwater, trying to stay on the trail of Yenny Carpenter. So, as all of you are gathered once again together, and you have a vague understanding of which roads she is currently taking, what would all of you like to do? What are the tactics? How are you going to follow Yenny?
Yeah, because I just want to make sure 2 things. Number 1, our characters are already level 2 at this point, or do we still?
Yeah, we will say for the sake of this that because the only thing that you did last session was just run around and talk a little bit, so we will say that with the long rest that you had last night, you all are leveled up.
Cool, that matters a lot. Perfect, thank you. And number 2, so if I remember correctly, it was Jack who spoke to Yenny last session?
No, it is Crowan.
Oh,
Crowan was the
Crowan,
one
my
to,
bad. So Crowin spoke to her. We didn't get a lot out of that, and she was very obviously suspicious, if I remember correctly, and very obviously lying. And now we're following her to wherever she's going. Is that correct? Okay, cool. In that case, I say we try and be sneaky, right?
All right, so what are exactly the tactics? Like, do you guys want to trail her from a distance and see if you can find some way to follow her without having a line of sight? Are you guys just trying to, like, what I used to call social stealth, like Assassin's Creed, just go up into the crowd?
I think the latter one.
Yeah.
Nico makes a good point in chat. Jack was going to meet up with Olam and Edge so that we somewhere else.
For the sake of this, we will say that all of you are already together. Like all of that is done. You guys are now together again, and you can plan.
Yeah.
Just to make the logistics of it a little bit easier on you.
I guess also our original plan was very bad of splitting ourselves in 3 parties, so we can definitely get killed.
I mean, one would hope. But yeah, so what what Tarush is gonna do, he's gonna spend 2 actions to cast Illusory Disguise. So that gives me a +4 on a disguise check to appear as, well, a specific person, but in this case I don't need that or anything. I just want to disguise my entire being as just a very ordinary, average, not too average, if you know what I mean, but an average human male inhabitant of Farwater. Or, assuming humans are the...
yes. Yeah, it's predominantly human. Like, I would say, like 80% human, then 20% makes up of mostly, like, other elves and dwarves, and then, like, the last, 15% is making up of elves and dwarves, and the last 5% is, like, whatever you can find.
All right, perfect. So yeah, illusory disguise, a peasant, really, wearing some maybe even a beggar. Like, he has a bit of a cloak on. He looks, he could be either a pilgrim or a beggar. He's just walking with this dirty brown cloak over himself and over his head, kind of, and aside from that, just dirty linen tunic and pants and sandals.
Nice. And I do believe that you casting Disguise Self also gives you a bonus of sorts. A
+4 on deception.
+4. Nice.
Jack sees this and he thinks, "Oh, good point," and he uses the same spell and he just turns into Tarouche. No, I'm kidding. I don't have it prepared.
Okay. Crowin is just gonna follow the party from behind. So basically, the party follows Jenny, and Crowin follows the party because he doesn't want to be seen by Jenny.
Yeah, because Jenny, of course, had an interaction with you, so you figure that she probably has an eye out for you, because the conversation did have some, let's say, some pain points in them. All right, so those are Crowin and Tarouche. What about the rest of you?
Jack also stays a bit behind because last time I rolled a stealth check that didn't really work out that much, so I figured I would just keep at a distance. Yeah.
Very well. All right, then we still have 2 other people that are gazing very intently at something I don't know.
Yeah, well, the exploration activities aren't really set in my memory yet, so I was just looking over which would make more sense.
We're not really talking about, like, what the exploration activities would be, but just a general overview of, okay, so you are going to track someone. What are the tactics? Like, how are you going to do that? Do you want to, like, okay, so we already established that you want to be in line of sight. Well, Tarouche is going to disguise himself. Do you just say, like, no real special tactics, I just want to go in stealthily and see how it goes? Or do you have, like, other ideas that will be important for me to sketch the entire situation?
As a white tiefling, I know I'm going to stand out unless I go really, really, really stealthy. So what I'd rather do is just kind of keep her within visual, but, I don't know, pretending to be looking at shop windows or whatever, just making it look like I'm minding my own business.
Well, if you I mean, yeah, it's actually a good point that you stand out. But if you stay with Crowan, like, at a double distance, maybe also with Olam, by the way.
Why?
Galaxy
Nobody would
Panther.
notice me.
A sparkly bipedal panther, yes.
That's what you're talking about.
So then Tarush and maybe Jack like stay at a closer distance in the crowd, and the three of you just look for a green ginger head sticking out.
She may have seen you in the park, though.
We stayed at a long distance. I don't think she would have seen us.
And as far as I remember, Tarouche actually was very stealthy. Jack was less stealthy.
Well, you two, Tarush and Jack, both of you were in the vicinity. You guys eventually said that because you also wanted to keep an eye out on Crowan and wanted to hear in on the conversation, know when you needed to perhaps jump by to save your friend. You guys were in the crowd that was listening to Yenny.
Yeah, that is fair. Yeah, so maybe all of you stay at double distance and just keep an eye on Tarush, because as inconspicuous as he is to everyone else, you know exactly what his disguise is now, right?
You could, you guys could, just trying to think with all of you, you could like decide on a sign that Tarush gives when you guys need to jump into action or something. I don't know.
I'm fine with that. Just like do something with your fingers that we can see.
Yeah, or if there's like real trouble.
Tap the top of your head 3 times.
Yeah, or if there's real trouble, I can just do a little fireworks with prestidigitation, you know, something very minor.
Yeah, sounds good.
Fireworks and minor?
Like small, you know.
Fireworks.
At the moment that he wants you guys to notice, then it's better that it's not too inconspicuous.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think Edge is going to be happy walking behind Tarush, though. Just from a role-playing standpoint. So I think, yeah,
Edge is going to join Yenny.
In that case, going to be stealthy, like weaving in and out of alleyways and using the shadows to their advantage.
That's the tiefling thing to do, so yeah, that sounds good.
That's racist.
I love it.
That's out of character, I said that, by the way.
It's a tiefling, not a thiefling.
Oh!
I am trained in thievery, though.
That I've been misspelling and mishearing it for years.
Me too. I also thought it was a thiefling for sure.
But no, either way, that's also good, because then we have double the chance to not lose her.
Yeah.
All right. Then, for the sake of this, I will need Tarush and Edge to go ahead and make stealth checks or deception checks, your choice, because like I allow being socially stealthy to just like, oh, I'm acting like a normal person. And I need the rest of you to go ahead and make perception checks to see if you can keep track of your allies and not lose sight of them while you're trying to keep your distance.
Nice.
I have a natural 20 for a total of 27 stealth.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, bitch. First roll of the night.
So I guess I'm rolling with the 12 then. So 11, so 23.
I rolled plus 12, so that's 11. Like, I don't really see how that works. 23, nice though.
I
23,
don't do math.
27?
26. I almost rolled a net 20. I rolled a 19. Yeah.
Guys, those level 2 numbers kicking in, holy shit.
Oh, we're just
I
gonna
have
die
been
in
rolling
combat.
horrible since the beginning, so this means absolutely nothing.
You remember like the entire encounter with 12 fish people that you slaughtered without effort? I was rolling pretty shit too. Anyhow, we still have 2 people left.
I like to disappoint everyone. I got a 10.
10? Alright.
Not too bad, but it's not that good.
That's what you get when you're
I
shouting.
do like to disappoint. Olam and Crowan has so much in common. I have a 13.
13.
Aww.
Still though, like the 3 of you traveling behind the other 2 people, like you guys just need to have someone who keeps an eye out. Olam, you are looking, and indeed you are like finding all of these beautiful shops and stands and people with different clothings now that you are really having your time to walk through the streets, and you are just like, wow.
It's so
not
pretty.
really- It's so pretty. But it's
Well-
good that Jack keeps his eye on the prize. Also, maybe even like realizing a little bit better how Tarush looks, because he also really understands the spell that Tarush has cast. makes it so that Jack really has an eye on Tahush, and Tahush just sticks out of the crowd, but only for Jack. So the three of you can follow pretty well. Tahush, you are just weaving and waving through the crowds of people. Sometimes a little bit, peaceful on the streets. Not a lot of people to weave in and out of, but at those moments you can just like walk around. And it seems that the act that you are putting on as a pilgrim or beggar, or at least someone of somewhat lower standing, does indeed seem to very much affect the other people that you find on the street, who are like avoiding their gazes actively to not look in your direction, and having to start the conversation of, please, can you spare some change?
Yeah, this is because the poor are a failure of society. They know that. They know
It's
that
true.
beggars are a failure of society and their feudalistic, imperialistic, capitalist system. So in that... sorry, I'll stop.
This is
No,
also
keep going.
this is also why we place fines on poor people in the Netherlands. Like if you're not making enough money, then you should pay money.
And the
Anyhow,
penalty-
we're not left leaning.
No one's left.
So as this goes on, you guys are following Jenny. Oh, excuse me, an Edge. You are just like, every time Tahush takes a look around and gazes into one of the alleyways, you can just feel two burning eyes burning into the side of his skull, but he can never really figure out where those eyes are coming from, as you are stealthy as fuck, just weaving and waving through all of the different alleyways. You do have to put in a little bit more effort, because sometimes you need to take the long way around while you get up to speed to Tahush again. But nonetheless, things are
It's a
going
good
pretty well.
workout.
Let's see here. All right. All right. So, as this goes on, Tahush, you see that Yenny is just making her way through the streets, like keeping a pretty normal pace, seemingly very much knowing where she is going, what route she's taking. And eventually, she does take like a right and just moves into one smaller street / alleyway. Probably, you figure, knowing a little bit how these lands are laid out, it is probably like the street that she lives in, because it's like such a small alleyway. It could also be like a shortcut to some places, but you figure you might be coming upon the place that she lives.
Oh, nice. What's my... Okay, so I'm gonna, like, keep walking. If she stops at a door, I'm just gonna keep walking and pass her by. Maybe actually, like, maybe I'll even bump into her a bit.
Well, so what happens is this.
Oh, I love
Let
the
me
squeaky
just-
sound of markers.
Squeaky! Yeah.
You did it again.
Let's see here.
I love these drawing sounds.
Yeah.
Just draws me in.
Party rolls like gods to manage a stealth mission. Chat,
So-
let's all put on the wild magic shirt, see what happens.
So you guys are following through like this long street, and eventually Yenny takes a left, like in a small alleyway where the main street just continues onward. So you figure that somewhere here is probably like the place that she lives, or perhaps it's a shortcut, and perhaps there are like other streets that continue on here. But right now you are like standing right there.
Yeah,
So
I'm
if
just
you
gonna
really
keep
want to-
following her. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very
no
well.
problem.
So as you turn the corner, you find that.
Oh, so
We'll just.
Vincent, did they trigger it? Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Oh, they did?
Completed. It's
Actually,
completed.
did, yes.
Gasp.
I think it was still on Crowan. No, it was on Edge's person now.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
It is on me. Yes, I have the icosahedron.
All right, so I'm gonna roll.
Go ahead.
Hell yeah, you go do that. First things first.
13. I think that's a new one.
13.
It's not a
Yay!
4! Yay!
That's the highest that we've had in this.
I need to figure out what number 13 was. if you just give me a moment.
We will not.
Chat can actually just scroll down and already see it. But here we go.
There it is.
13. Oh, damn. As you turn the corner, Tarush, this is beautiful. Because as you turn the corner, you actually see Yenny come from the side, at which moment the artifact triggers and a large dome appears over, well, the local vicinity, affecting all of our players at least, I will say, which is an anti-magic field that immediately drops your disguise spell.
No! Why?
This is way too fitting for the situation.
But at least she can't do shit either.
No.
But like she was, you said she was waiting for me, so she'd spotted.
Well, I'm just like going to incorporate the wild magic search in all of this. So what happens is that you basically turn the corner and enter into like what seems to be like a small square over here. And as soon as you enter it, right around the corner over here, Yenny is lying in wait, just waiting. Apparently, seeing that she was being followed. With a 28 on her perception. So, as you turn the corner, you see her standing there in her sexy glory, a little bit sassy, like with her hips to one side, leaning on one leg, leather pants, high heels. But she already has her violin like strapped against her chin and her rapier bow to play it with at the ready. And as she sees you, the anti-magic field also envelops her. And for a moment, she just goes, "What the hell is this? Why are you following?" And then your disguise falls away.
Well, this is embarrassing. And I
would like to try to sneak up from behind her if possible.
I'm gonna.
I'll say.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Edge is going to do that. What are you going to try to do, Doge? And then we'll see what happens first in all of this.
Yeah, I'm gonna. This is actually the perfect opportunity. She's semi-powerless, so I'm just.
So are you.
Oh yeah, but I have a spear in my hand, so you know I got something.
She's got a rapier.
What's the worst that could happen? I'm already dead on the inside. No, but anyway, so Tarush says, we were, in fact, following you because we trust not a single word you said. You filthy, dirty, corrupting plague spreader.
For a moment, she is taken aback and Jen just goes, "Well, I guess no loose ends." And she just makes like one high tone on her violin. And at this moment, well, let's just say we can take all of your stealth checks as initiative. We will be doing this in the theater of the mind, however, because to take up a battle map for this together with like 3 other characters who are not here will only slow the pace down, I believe.
No problem.
So let's see how this goes. So for the sake of this, all y'all are in a small little alcove next to a busy street, although this is abandoned. Other than that, you can see that this houses a couple of the small little square houses, a couple of entrances, like backway entrances into other houses. But this is not like one of the main streets. This is like you are basically in a couple of people's backyards as of now. So, Tarush, you had a 26 on stealth, I believe.
Sorry, I had a 23.
23, Edge?
I had a 27.
27, alright. So, with 28, Yenny goes first, but she just makes this one high-pitched sound with her violin, and that is all she does for now. So, with that out of the way, Edge, what would you like to do?
I would like to come up from behind her, and seeing that she's using her violin, I'd like to grapple her in a way that she can't connect the rapier to her violin.
All right, so with that, go ahead and make me an athletics check. So we will say it is pretty. If you want to go from behind her, you would have to be really going full Assassin's Creed and go like running across rooftops. So I will say that this is the only action that you can use right now because you also need to get like in range with her to get like this nice little vantage point.
So what you want to do here, Aif? This is a grapple check, so you want to make a athletics check versus her fortitude. On a normal success, she can't move. She's grabbed, and on a critical success, she will be grappled, and that means she cannot really do anything involving, both hands and stuff.
Yeah. And you could also try to disarm her, which is another use of the skill. You could try to get rid of like her rapier or her violin, for example.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to grab the violin and basically like in one swoosh smash it against the nearest wall.
All right, so let me just
I know. It hurts my musician heart, Crystal, but it's her weapon.
That's terrible to do.
I know, but I don't care.
It looks so expensive.
It's so hilarious though. Like she's just standing there going to play, and suddenly Edge is like, "No, no, no!"
Like a little bit of a spoiler. It's a virtuoso instrument, so it's like a 3rd level item, and she gets a +1 bonus because it's so well made and so expensive. It's not magical; it's just so good.
You're gonna have to buy a new one.
All right,
Last week I was in quarantine and I watched The Hateful Eight, and it reminds me a lot of that moment when he smashes the guitar, which is also...
that was an actual 180-year-old guitar. I know the story. Yeah,
Damn.
That was not a prop. That's why the woman, Frances something, her reaction is genuine because that was not the prop.
Amazing. Dips on the violin. I have a performance of 8. So
no, I'm gonna smash it.
Well,
let's first see how the disarming attempt goes.
So disarming is in athletics as well?
Yes, also a form of athletics.
Ooh, that is it. Natural 12 for a total of 17.
17.
Yeah.
17 will not be enough, I'm afraid. So even though you grapple her from behind, it seems that in one swift movement, she turns and her long blonde braids are just swept into the wind for a moment as she uses the momentum that she used to play her violin to also pivot around, and your hands try to grasp her violin, but instead it just grasps her shoulder and she shrugs you off. More friends. Splendid. You're new. Love your skin. Alright, so that is Edge's turn for now.
Can I growl at her a little bit?
It is done. You have growled.
Her attack has been decreased. Pokemon.
It's super effective.
All right, so first I'm going to try and demoralize her. Let's see how her will save is. So I'm going to make an intimidation check. And Tarush is going to say, "That's 1, that's 2, and soon there will be 5 coming to kill you." Oh, and that's a natural 13 for a total of 21.
21 will not be enough.
Whoa!
As she just like blares into your face. "Oh, honey, I have heard all of this talk so many times before, with suitors much prettier than you."
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
That high level. Oof. All right. Good thing her magic is disabled because she would.
We're gonna die.
Yeah. I mean, seriously. Damn. Okay. In that case, I will try to stab her.
Alright.
This is my function now. So attack roll. I don't have anything, do I? Yeah, no, I don't have anything. So that's just gonna be it's a 17 versus her AC.
Misses, I'm afraid.
Is she flat-footed now?
I will say she's flat-footed because she is nicely flanked by both you and Edge, and still a 17 misses. As the rapier just comes off of the violin and masterfully parries the blow of your spear-pointed staff.
So yeah, then... God.
You do remember that your allies are waiting for a sign.
Yeah. So
right?
I was actually gonna say now. So I'm gonna spend the other action, I guess, to move 4 squares back into where I came from, and just scream, back, over here.
All right. So go ahead and just roll me a straight up Constitution check. Just roll a d20, add your Constitution modifier to see how loud you can scream and how well this is.
That would be a 0, so giving us an 11.
An 11, all right. Together with a 26, I believe, from Jack, that is enough to alert them to your presence. So right now, you guys were basically like traveling through this street as well for a moment, and as you guys were just waiting for Tarush to basically just go on with his travels over there, you guys were slowly just following up, hoping to not like get in view of whatever was beyond there, at which moment you begin to hear, pack, over here! So for the sake of this, I would like all 3 of you to go ahead and roll me athletics checks to see how fast you can arrive in this whole ordeal.
Not very fast.
A 1.
Nice.
Do I still add my athletics?
Yeah.
You still add your athletics. Yeah.
Oh,
like
then
that's
it's
a D&D,
6.
so nice. No, so the thing is, of course, like if you fail by 10 or more, it becomes a crit fail, but also like a 1 just makes it a level lower, so it could be like a normal success, but probably not either way.
And there aren't really like fails or saves in initiative. It's just like the line goes down. So okay, so
13 for me.
13 and Jack.
Because Jack was paying such good attention, with 19, he's probably quick on the spot.
Nice. All right, so that means that we have Yenny, Edge, Tarush, Jack, and taking up the back, Crowan, and last but not least, we also have Olam. All right, so okay, just need to roll some dice over at my end for a moment. 22. All right. Crowan, remind me again, what was your initiative? What was your athletics check?
Athletics check was 13.
13,
total.
all right, very good. Then, with this going on, we turn back to the top of the round for now, as Yenny is now standing next to you, and she, realizing that her normal magics don't really work all that well, she's going to go ahead and try to use her rapier to stab you not once, but twice, Edge, to see how that goes.
Okay.
With the first one coming in at a 16 to hit.
Miss.
Excuse me?
Miss.
Misses. All right. And the second one coming in at a... Ooh, math. 22 to hit.
Doesn't have the penalty on her second attack? Did she roll that high?
That was with her penalty.
Jesus Christ, yeah, that hits.
All right. So you take a total of 11 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And she just takes a couple of steps and backs herself up against the wall to make sure that she can't really be easily flanked by either you or Tarush, unless both of you would like pivot to both of her sides. She doesn't want to stay flanked and flat-footed as of this. That will be your entire turn, at which moment, Edge, the turn is yours once again.
I was looking at something earlier. Da 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 da. I'm going to attempt flurry of blows. So 2 strikes here. Yeah, not good. That's a 16 for the first and an 11 for the second.
Not high enough, I'm afraid.
I rolled shit.
Don't worry, Cronin is coming.
Right. But that's only one action. That's only one action. You still have 2 left.
So while Ave is thinking, let me remind the chat that Wouter obviously made this encounter very high level for us, like as a revenge for the audience saving us during the previous encounter. So audience, you should show Wouter up. You should teach him a lesson by giving us lots of bonuses again.
Yenny is a 4th level character from the book. I didn't even... I altered her a little bit, but none of the numbers that you've seen so far have been altered by me in any way, shape, or form. A 4th level character is normal.
I'm not saying you're cheating. I'm not saying you're cheating. I'm just saying, like, it's obviously... You're obviously in the subtext saying to the audience, like, bet you can't help the pack beat this one.
No. What I'm saying is you little bitch. There you go.
Also fair enough, yeah.
No, only love to you. Only love to all.
Can I use my legs to sweep her legs to try and get her to fall prone?
Another action that you can use your athletics for is indeed the trip action.
That wouldn't be an unarmed attack?
It is also an attack, so your multiple attack penalty applies.
Okay.
Yes. All of these are basically like combat-oriented thingies.
Grab my table here.
But if you have a success, she already falls prone.
But you could try to intimidate it, that's also allowed.
Wait, there were several people talking at the same time.
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to say that demoralizing is also an option because you have quite a high charisma, if I believe. But yeah, party unlike
scream in her face.
It's not something I'm familiar with, so let's not delve into that. I'm gonna try to get her to fall prone. So I roll an athletics or an unarmed strike?
Athletics.
I don't know what dice to use.
A D20.
And honestly, athletics is better because athletics is easier to get higher, like, whatchamacallit, proficiencies in than attack rolls.
Yeah, that's true, but it still sucks when you roll a 9.
Yeah, and you do have because you made 2 attacks earlier this round with your
I have a -8 penalty.
Yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, I will say that.
Savage combat, Smurf! Stop trying to fucking kill us!
This is
Hey.
Every time they're here, every time.
All right, so but I do want to know what the number is, Edge, because if you critically fail on it,
I trip up myself. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's total of 6.
Total of 6. Yeah, that'll be a critical fail, I think. So as you try to sweep her leg, she blocks your attack with the rapier sticking into the ground for a moment, and she just goes, "Oh, honey, I've been walking on these high heels for my entire life. I really know my balance." And she just sweeps your leg with the rapier, and you fall prone on the ground.
I hate that that's true!
I'm sorry.
I do want to say, Wouter, like around this roughly 6-ish seconds, she only gets like one-liner per round.
No, she's a bard. She has unlimited one-liners per bard. It's in her sheet. It's a feat she takes on level mind your own business. I don't know why I'm so salty. I don't know.
It's okay. No. I love your sass, bro.
But it's also completely not what I'm feeling right now.
You're just in character.
Sure. He says while he ups her stacks just a little bit more.
I just have the +5 button to all stats on my characters.
Yeah, exactly.
I love this character way too much. Let's get it.
However, Edge still has 1 action left. So you could use a move action to stand yourself up again and not be prone for when she might have an onslaught.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna use that cool like push yourself up off the ground thing that I can't even do if I tried in real life.
Hey, that's why we're playing Pathfinder.
Exactly. I play a monk because I'm super not athletic in real life.
So you do indeed jump up, and as you like step up and jump back into the face of Yenny, she can't help but just go, "Oh," like at least a modicum of respect. After which, we continue the initiative order.
I feel so evil right now, but I was just for a second was like, I want to eat her face off. Her smug fucking face.
Tarush, you were the one that is next. You can already see coming around the corner your other 3 companion combatants enter into the fray, but first it is you.
I really don't have any other options. I was gonna buy a freaking bomb at some point, but then I was like, nah, I have so many spells. Anyway, so I guess in this case, I will just move back. So I have a move action to go back. I'm gonna try and flank her again, if that's possible.
Yeah, you can just like go around and flank her together with Edge. So as Edge jumps up on one side, you slide in on the other.
Exactly. So I'm just gonna try and do that. And you know, I'm gonna fish for those 20s. So I'm gonna make an attack roll with my spear staff, and that is a miss for a total of 10. Second attack. Oh, that's with a +0 modifier. Now, in fact, I will make an intimidation check.
You can't. She's immune to your attempts for the next 10 minutes.
You're right. Thank you. Another attack.
You're welcome.
Also failed. My turn was great.
The irony when my one-liners can continue, but yours cannot. All right, but you still have 1 action left then.
No, move, attack, both fail.
Sorry, the last attack also
it was terrible.
All right, and the spear goes wide 2 times. Yenny just like darting back and fro. The second attack does come like past her face, and her ponytail has like her pony just has like a little bit of hair just sticking out, which just shink gets slashed off by her spear. It goes, ooh, close. But other than that, just mocking. At which point, you hear coming from the sewers another roster opening, and she says, finally. It seems that you are not the only one with backup. As you see a familiar fish-like body just crawl out of the sewer system, get the crossbow contraption ready, and let's see here. This one would be closest to Tarush. So this one just gets the crossbow up, and unleashes a bolt, reloads, and it's another bolt in. The first one is going to come in at a 21 to hit.
Yeah, that's a hit, babe.
The second one is going to be 12 lower than that, so that's going to be
a total miss, yeah.
So the first one, you are a little bit flabbergasted that another one of these scums is daring to get up on the above world, and the first bolt does find purchase. You take 1 point of piercing damage. But the other one, you are ready for it, and the next one shoots off and just goes next to you into one of the wooden poles, one of the wooden beams of the house that you were standing next to.
Alright, so the bolt, it's low quality scum make, and it just bounces off my breastplate, but it's just the blunt force impact that kind of hurts.
There is a nice little bruise over there, but other than that, you're fine. Alright, that is all that the scum can do. After which we go to the next one in the initiative order, which is Jack.
Yeah. So
you have run into the fray. You have run out before you. Yeah.
And as soon as I come around the corner, I notice that my red Jessie is a bit less energetic than normal, because she's a familiar. I can imagine she loses kind of a bit like her power in this anti-magical field.
She now becomes a normal rat. She begins to bite you in the neck. No.
No. So the thing is, I do have a club with me, but I do not have that prepared because I rarely use it. So I have to get my club out of my bag, I presume, taking an action.
Yeah, so you get out your bag, like beginning to rummage through it.
I see this whole situation happening before me, and I'm like, wait, I have to grab my bag. So yeah, I use an action to grab my club, and I would like to come closer towards the fish person. I figured I'm not that strong with my club. My strength is not to speak of, but a fish sounds way more advantageous for me to hit than Jenny. Also because I use my club to hit fish. Yeah. So I run up to this fish and I try to hit him with my club, saying,
You're like,
"Come on, fish!"
You're like, I trained for this my whole life.
Yeah.
I trained for this. I've been many hours fishing, and this one I know.
And you do in fact see that this fish is quite out of water. So go ahead.
Terrible.
Oh, this might be something. That would be a 19.
A 19 actually hits.
Oh, cool.
So go ahead and roll damage against the. You have faced these some scum sewer scouts before with their crossbows at the ready.
So I use it so rarely that I didn't write down what I should use. How can I not write down what I should use? 1 second. I got
it's
it.
It's a D6, I think.
D6, yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Charlie. Because you were adjacent to one of the allies of the scum had precision damage on you. So, excuse
Fair
me, the
enough.
scum also deals an additional 3 points of damage. So the one gets increased to 4, which is something.
That's like a fifth of my HP, so don't be like casual about that.
So that's 3 points of damage.
Nice. So the scum had just unleashed another bolt, and you just come up to it. Bad scum! Bad! Don't shoot, friend. No, but you run up to it and you clobber it. You want to go for the head, but he can like lift up his arm for a moment, and poof, the blunt of the blow gets absorbed by the arm. But still, you can hear. The scum is not happy with what you just did to it. All right, so I believe that is like get club, move, hit.
Yeah.
I can count to 3. All right, so 3 points of damage towards the some sewer scout. At which point, from the other side, another opens up as another some sewer scout comes climbing out, and this one gets a bolt at the ready, but not before a nice little bolt of green energy comes towards the sewer scout because of Savage Combat Smurf's machinations. And in a bloodthirsty, it unleashes its bolt with all the strength that it can muster against you, Jack, because you were attacking its friend. So with the +5 of the fierce attack, that does become a 25 total.
A 25 total. So my AC is 15. Is that a critical hit or not?
That is exactly a critical hit.
Then he critically hits me.
Because of Savage Combat Smurf.
Thanks, Savage Combat Smurf.
It's all his fault. It is all what he did.
We love you.
Can we ban him from the chat room?
So because you were also adjacent to a friend of him, he also gets precision damage. So the bloodthirsty Murloc screech does give him enough time to align a shot nicely. And that is going to be a total of 11 points of piercing damage.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah. So
That could have been a lot worse.
It pierces me, and I there's this realization in Jack, like, oh, this is why I use range spells.
All right. He does, however, still have the chance to reload his crossbow and shoot another quote-unquote harpoon against you. This one, however, is going to be a 11 to hit with the -5.
11 does not hit.
So this one just goes wide. But at this moment, Jenny does take a look at you, Jack, who have just run into the fray, and 2 other people as well. Oh, you have a lot of friends with you, don't you? And
yes, 5. I said 5. Can you count?
Crowan, we go to you.
How far am I from Jenny?
We will say one move action.
One move action.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try to intimidate her. I basically point with my mace, with both my weapons, my staff and my mace. I point at her and I say, "Your evil song ends here and now." And then let's roll. That's not gonna make it. It's an 11.
And she just goes, "What? No more lessons?"
And then I'm gonna move up to her and then try and whack her with the mace.
Go ahead. I'm afraid you cannot flank her. Oh no, wait, she is flat-footed just in general, so you do get the. She does get the penalty to her AC.
Okay, I rolled an 8 plus 8, that's 16.
16 still misses, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
As her rapier once again just comes in and parries
I'll
at the
get her
side.
next time.
All right, Olam, you were the last one in this initiative order. You see on both sides two scum with crossbows at the ready, shooting bolts at your friends. On the far side, you see Yenny now being crowded with 3 combatants around her, but for now she is still like king with her rapier, keeping everyone at bay.
Can I get close to Jenny?
You could, yes. Do you
I
also
want
want
to
to crowd
try
up on
and I want to try and grapple her.
Sure. Okay, so one move action to get close to her, and then another action to try and grapple her. Go ahead and make an athletics check.
Oh, I get the fierce attack at the beginning of the round, right?
Oh, nice. Well, because we are not really in like a straight battle map initiative, I will give it to you right now if you so desire.
What did that do again?
Plus
Plus
5 on your
five.
next. Yeah.
So +5 on my grapple now, then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, on your next attack that you want to use it for.
I want to really grapple that bitch.
Mm.
I can't take
Yeah. That's 16 plus athletics is 521 plus 5 is 26.
Ooh, nice. All right, so let me just take a look-see here, just to be sure. 26? 26 is
Yeah.
still a normal success. So she is grabbed until the end of your next turn, unless you move or your target escapes. So she can use an action to try and escape from you, but otherwise she is grabbed, and basically her movement speed is 0 for now. So you are keeping her in place.
Yeah, is pointing her body at edge a movement?
Is what? Sorry?
Like, I want to turn around so she's facing edge
So,
while I'm holding her.
Like
Just
you wanna make an 8 check for Edge's next attack or something.
Yeah,
You can't.
I'm not
Yep.
sure that's a thing.
It's just her movement that is 0, so she can still attack anyone around her.
I would
That's fine.
honestly
I'm fine with
just
this.
I would just use the situation to like bash her.
Light her or something.
I'm not that good at bash. Yeah, right. I can do.
What
No,
can
I
you
can
do?
bite her.
You have kitty teeth, of course you
I
can
have,
bite her.
I have saber teeth. Yeah.
You can-
I'm gonna bite her.
No.
So you wrote your you wrote your character sheet.
I know.
How are you surprised about what's on it?
Why? Well, last time I was like reading this, I was like, oh, I have the teeth, but I don't have the claw thingy. I kind of do, but not really. And now I got those two confused in my head. But now I'm fine again.
Look, I just need to know what you're gonna
I'm
do.
I'm gonna. Can I? If I try and stab her, can I still keep her grappled?
Yes, yeah. The grab condition, she is just grabbed for now. Unless you would need to use like both hands for something, because then you need to let her go. But I think you are just going to bite her, right? So
Yeah.
that does not involve your hands, so you are keeping her grabbed.
Yeah, and then just like bite her arm or neck or something. No, I'm not a vampire. I'm going to bite her arm. Like
Bite
a
her arm
zombie
is
would
what you will do.
So you have a -5 because you already attacked.
Afraid so.
I rolled a 17, so that's a 12, but I don't know if I add something
well,
for biting.
you-
It's an
you are-
unarmed attack.
Yeah, you are trained in unarmed attacks, so you get a +4 because of your proficiency. And do you have like any ability score modifiers in strength or dexterity?
Strength and dexterity, yes. Can I use dexterity? That's 3.
You choose the highest.
Yeah, choose the highest.
Oh, then the 4 is 19.
19, even with the -5?
Yes, because I rolled a 17.
Nice, that hits.
Nice.
All right, so go ahead and roll damage. So for the
It's not
damage, you
correct
need
one.
to add your strength. You can't add your dexterity for the damage, I'm afraid.
That's
Yeah.
1 plus
Those are the rules.
1, so that's a 2.
And with that, the first points of damage are done towards Yenny.
Maybe.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Oh no.
Hold on, for me.
Why do I feel like that's not what I want to do? 10.
10? Okay, no, that's not
Oh,
high
wait!
enough.
No, 12, sorry.
12. Still not high enough for what I was thinking about. So, you bite, and you do get a nice little 2 points of damage into Yenny's side of the neck. And she just goes, ah! Oh, Kitty got a little bit of a bite.
She's so fucking
Now.
erotic subtext. It's insane.
Yeah. Also, says who? Like, come on.
Pot calling the kettle black.
That being done, we go back to the top of the round, at which moment the artifact charges up, and this time a bolt of fire energy. Olam, you are just retracting your teeth to hear a small bolt of fire head towards Yenny's general direction. Damn! For 11 points of fire damage. 1d6 fire damage per level, and you guys are level 2. Those are a 5 and a 6 right now. So,
Nice.
Chat doing the most damage by far thus far.
Just you wait.
Hell yeah. Although, I am not sure who just removed the attack from Yenny, but I still have an attack from Yenny at the ready.
Oh, I did the wrong one?
Yeah, no worries. I still remember it, because Yenny did have a fierce attack at the ready.
True.
So, even though the fireball begins to burn her a little bit, and this is one of my best outfits. She gets the rapier surrounding it, and it seems that a little bit of magical energy now also coalesces around it. You guys are going to pay for that, either in coin or in blood. And she is going to go ahead and have her turn. Let's see here. Edge, you were the one... No, Edge, you were the one that got hit before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so she is going to focus on you for now.
So, Voucher, in the spirit of fairness, the elemental damage is d4s, not d6.
Oh, it's D4. Oh.
I really want to keep that 5 and that
Right.
6, but...
Let's see how this goes then.
Wouldn't the anti-magic shield affect her rapier as well?
Well, okay, so I am going to make a photo of this just so you guys know that I'm not lying. But I actually rolled 2 4s and 2 d4s for this one.
Nice.
Like
He deserves
the
it.
way of the world is that she will take damage from this.
Yeah, fair. Nice.
And thank you for paying attention, Nideko, even
There you
though
go.
I really didn't want to notify Voucher
yeah.
of this.
Alright, so that does change 11 points of damage to 8. But still, nothing too shabby. And going from shabby to stabby. The rapier, Edge, you were the one that got hit before, so the rapier is, just gonna go into you for now. The first one, with a fierce attack, is going to be a total of 33 to hit.
Oh,
That misses. Yeah, that hits!
Alright, and I do believe that that's a critical hit right now.
probably.
Oh, that's very much a critical hit. My AC
Yeah.
is 19.
Alright,
Oh,
so you take, if I can find
All the damage.
dice again. That's 18 points of piercing damage.
I'm down.
All right, so the rapier finding purchase once again. like she pulls in Olam for a moment, like getting her to obstruct your view a little bit, Edge. And as you try to figure out where the rapier comes from, it already has found purchase in your abdomen, and shink, it is pulled out once again, and you. Like you're not unconscious, but you're
blood
just
in her face before I go down.
It is so. You have spit blood. Like fuck you. One down. And
oh wait, I had a fortification, but I don't think that's gonna help Nidiko because she had a 33 on her attack. And
fortification is also on saving throws, but it will actually help you with your death saving throw.
Oh, okay.
So that's also nice because you roll with that with only your Constitution mod, so a +5 is huge.
Yeah.
You might actually just, because of the +5 that the chat gave you, you might actually just get back into battle because you roll a 20 or higher.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But for now, that is one of her actions. One, and she then turns towards you, Olam. 2, and she goes in for another strike. This one with a -5 is going to be a 15 to hit.
Rapier is -4.
Oh, 16 to hit.
No.
Still misses?
Yes.
Sorry, Crystal, but nice.
It's
then-
okay. So
Let's see here. And then, looking around, she...
I'm also
Let's see
adjacent to her if she needs another target.
No, she's just like darting her eyes around a little bit, and she just is going to try and get rid of your grapple. So, against your...
No need to roll.
Let's see here.
It's a normal grab, so she can just do a standard action to...
Is that not a check to
only
to get
on
rid of it?
only on like if she's actually restrained, like if it's a critical success on Olam's side.
Is that
I
so?
think.
Let me just... you're held in place. Give you the flat-footed and immobilized conditions. If you attempt a manipulate action while grabbed, you must succeed a DC 5 flat check or the last roll the check after. Okay, so yeah, only if she tries to interact with stuff. It doesn't say escape basic action. There we go.
Oh,
You attempt to escape. Yeah, so it is a check. It is a
fair
check.
enough. My bad.
Athletics DC of the creature grabbing you. So what is your what is 10 plus your athletics modifier?
15.
15. All right. So she needs to make a 15. Okay. So she does get a -10 because she did 2 additional attacks, but she does roll a natural 20. So even with that, like the rapier is just like pushing you away, and you can either like take the damage or let go of your hold, and you choose to let go of the hold and not take damage. And also probably let go of the hold because the pain would make it very easy to get your hands pried off. So she is now free once again, but that is the last of her actions. At which moment we turn towards Edge. No, sorry. We do not, because your initiative gets changed because you are down. So we go to Tahush.
All right. So I also got a fierce attack thrown at me by...
Sick!
Yeah, by our good friend Savage Combat Smurfs, which is... I mean, if you put the name into thought. Anyway, so, I'm gonna...
I envision just like a group of combat-ready Smurfs who are just like looking at a large screen where we are streaming, and just whenever something goes their way, the entire crowd goes, yeah!
Yeah! And, like, it sounds like a Munchkin monster. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'm gonna... right? I'm gonna make a move action because I'm no longer flanking with Edge. I want to flank with Olam then now. So that's one move action. Then I'm going to use that fierce attack and, you know, fucking attack, what's her face? Yenny.
The everlasting shit out of her.
Oh! And that's a natural 15. So I might actually make it this time because that's a 20 plus 5, again, is 25 on her flat-footed.
Hit? Hell yeah. Still not a critical hit, but it is a nice solid hit though.
Fair enough, fair enough. Ooh, nice. That's 6 damage. As
6 points of damage.
As Ola moves her around, they're struggling. Did she escape?
She did escape already, I'm afraid, yeah.
So she manages to escape only to find herself kind of moving into the tip of my spear. Okay, that sounded dirty, I like it.
Yeah, I was gonna say title of your sex tape.
And Tarus is just screaming, "I hate you so much!" as he goes again for another stab. Tarush really hates this. He doesn't even know her, but just, oh my god, Wouter, you've been really, we love to hate her. Another attack for a natural 20, motherfuckers.
Oh shit!
Nice.
All right, so just to be sure for a moment, like with the
that's actually
minus-
fair. No,
Yeah, because we need
it's
to
not
see
going to
if-
be a crit. It's going to be a normal hit, actually, because
Well, let's just see what is the total.
20.
20. Okay, so with a 20, while she's flat-footed, that would be a normal hit turning into a critical hit.
Oh shit! Oh
So
nice.
it does give you a little bit of information on how her AC is looking right now.
Nice. I was like, that's gonna be a normal hit now because. Okay. Rolling. That's a 5 plus 1, 6, double 12.
12 points of damage.
Tarush, as she's already kind of leading into it, there's some blood being drawn. He just gives it another nice push right there as Olam is pushing her into the spear. Oh, it's nice. Tarush is enjoying this. There's a little bit of bloodthirst and callous enjoyment in his eyes as this nasty crystal spreading woman is slowly going into that spear.
And as you push that spear in, she goes, "Ah!" And you do hear that her, like, oh so sweet feminine voice does turn a little bit to something else, giving you, like, a little bit of an eyebrows raise. And as you pull back your spear, a little bit of blood comes out. But it is not the blood of a normal person. It is not red blood that spills out over the ground, but it is like this thick, purple-like ichor.
Oh, that's not the color. I was like green, like the crystal. Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
That's, yeah. Ave makes a good point. You think demon?
Demon
Oh.
or devil? I think this might be the master.
Right, demons, because the imp is, or the not the imp, but the thing was a demon. Quasit. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, but I believe that is your...
That's my
your
turn.
Last of your actions. At which moment the scum that is standing next to you, Crowan, the one that you just... next to you, Jack, that you just hit in the face, is going to have its turn. Just a couple of feet away from where Yenny Carpenter, the beautiful bard that also seems to be a disguise for something else, is commenting the rest of your party members. This scum is just pushing the crossbow into your face and then just goes in for a couple of claw attacks. So he uses a free action to basically drop the crossbow and then just goes in for a flurry of blows with their claws that they also carry. 18 on the die for a total of... that's again a 25 plus 7. So I believe that's another exact critical hit, is it not?
Sorry, who are you attacking?
Jack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is a critical hit.
Yeah, alright, so the first one is a crit. The second one is going to be a 6 to hit.
That's critical fail.
Oh!
No. A 6 is actually not a critical fail. It's just.
Oh no, that's true. That's true. The third one, however, is going to be a crit fail, I believe, because that is going to be no, it's another 6. It's another 6. It's another 6.
Still a fail.
So, all right, but there is one critical hit that does find purchase within your nice little abdomen, as the crossbow pushed into your face. The other claws, like from below, just begin to carve into your half-orc flesh, as you take another 13 points of piercing damage.
A 13.
13 points of piercing damage.
I'm down as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, so with that critical hit, because you are downed, it is going to use another action to just run up and get in range with, let's see here, Tarush, who is now also combating seemingly the scum's accomplice. So the last attack is not going to go towards you, Jack, but is going to go towards Tarush. Which is, however, going to be a 7 to hit.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, miss.
So the claw just goes over your armor, but there is now this other scum that is also in combat with you. All right, so 2 critical hits going in for clutch moments from me.
Oof, yeah, damn.
So, Jack, you normally would have your turn, but because you have just been brought to unconsciousness. Your initiative, or your place in the initiative order, is also jumbled up. And we go to the other scum right now, who can only do one thing basically, because he needs to reload, fire a crossbow bolt at you, Olam, because you are the only one that is not being assailed next to Yenny at the moment. And the last action he needs to use to reload his crossbow again. So the attack is going to come in for a total of 10.
No.
That is a 10. So this bolt, the scum tries to find purchase, but it just goes wide. And then he reloads again and gets at the ready. But that is all that he can do. Crowan,
Okay.
you are standing in combat. You see on one side, Edge fall to the ground as the rapier finds a deadly purchase. You see that the dexterity that Yenny used to play the violin can also be translated towards dexterous combat. You see on the other side, one of the scum assault Jack, who is not used to being on the front lines. This low-level scum finding purchase with one nice blow into his cloth. He's not even wearing armor, to also rip open, and Jack succumbs to his wounds. What do?
This is not looking good.
Although you also do see that Yenny has taken a hefty blow on the side, by the way.
Yeah. I do not want to be outdone by in many combats by anyone else than Edge. But yeah. Tarush is not gonna be the DPS here. Fuck that.
Yeah, what the hell?
So I'm gonna fiercely attack with my mace first.
Okay. Attack Yenny.
Yeah, Yenny.
Very well.
Plus 5, plus 8, 18.
18. Even with the flat-footedness, that just misses.
Okay, and then I'm gonna try to hit with my sap, which is agile without the bonus. Ooh, that's better. 21.
21 hits.
Okay, and she counts as flat-footed, so I get to roll 2 times 6.
Yeah, you get your precision damage.
5, 7 plus 4. That is 11 damage.
11 points of damage. Alright, so as the mace tries to find purchase, she gets to parry that out of the way, thinking that the brunt of your assault is deflected. But then from your other hand, she gets sideswiped to the side, taking a nice hefty chunk of damage. Yeah. 2 actions done, 1 left.
Am I within range to heal someone with a... do I have the potion? No, Jack had the potion, right? No, we already used the potion. Don't remember.
We only used 1, and we have 2 potions. Or,
okay, so
wait, we also used 1 on Edge.
Edge, yeah. Before,
yeah.
So we have no more potions. Yes.
So we're potionless.
Yeah, no, we're out.
Okay.
But
wait.
if you have the combat medic feat, I don't know if you were the one that took that. It was.
It was me.
Yeah. The healer is down. The healer is down. All right. So yeah, then you can't do it in 1 action, I'm afraid.
I can't do a defensive move, right? There's no such thing as a...
No, the dodge action is something from 5th edition, I'm afraid.
Okay, so I'm just gonna...
You could always just go for a Hail Mary for a 3rd attack.
Okay.
Fishing for 20s.
Again with the sap, try to hit her again. How bad is a 1?
Fortunately, on attack rolls, critical fails do not have any detrimental effects to them.
Yes.
Hey,
okay.
so ghost sound.
Yeah, indeed. But Yenny is on the top of the round, so we will see what that does when we get to it.
That's fair.
All right, so that was Jack's turn. Then at the end, we go to Orlam.
So, we still can't use magic, right?
Nope.
Well, I do want to say I have a fierce attack again. So, I'm going to bite her necky neck.
Very good.
So cute.
Very good. Let us see how the bitey bite goes with the necky neck.
Oh, I want him to do snap. Oh, That's 15 plus 5 from fierce attack is 20 plus 3 from my dex is 23.
All right, there will be a hit. There will be a hit.
Yeah, that's
might I add, because of the fierce attack, because a 19 would have missed. Sorry, an 18 would have missed.
I'm fine with that.
I don't care.
That's okay. And that's 6 plus 1 is the 7.
7 points of damage. 7 points of damage. Add it to the roster.
No.
I'm like
All right,
not
so-
sure what accent you're doing, and I'm unsure if it's racist or not.
I'm stressed. I'm not. I don't even know.
It's fine. I love it. Don't get me wrong.
I
So-
just
That
want
was
to-
obviously a kawaii chibi accent.
what?
What?
Sure.
Okay,
Whatever.
no anime lovers here. Fine.
So what
Right.
happens is, as
hi.
Yenny with the rapier in one hand, the violin like now off to the side, she's just trying to parry all of the attacks that the onslaught of like 4 different people surrounding her are doing to her. She finds one opening to stab Edge that falls to the ground. She gets there to parry one blow from Crowan, but the other one hits. The spear from Tarouche stabs her in the side, and now your bite marks are also in her neck. She then shrugs up, ugh! Like her hair comes undone in streaks of blonde, sweat, blood, this thick purple ichor that is running over her body. She's not having a good time, but she's still standing.
Well, I can try and bite her again, but I'm not really sure that's going to be of any use because it's going to be a -5, right?
No,
Yeah.
-4. Like natural weapons are agile, so
Okay.
like that's one less penalty.
So I can
It can make all
try
the difference.
and roll a 20, and then maybe.
Who knows?
And then maybe
Well, I'm gonna try. You know. That's 19 minus 4 is 15 plus 3 is 18, so no.
18 just misses. Her AC
wait,
is 21.
even if she's flat-footed.
Her AC
Yeah.
is 21.
Oh.
If she's flat-footed, it drops to 19.
Okay.
I don't want to say that I'm angry or anything,
I'm
but
sorry.
I kind of am.
Engie.
Angry.
Oh, there's really nothing else I can do. I think. That's.
I like how the chat
Sucks.
gave us 2 fierce attacks and they're both on the characters that are down. That's great.
No, Savage Combat Smurfs gave fierce attacks to everybody.
Fair.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But I already used mine.
I'll ask him if he wants to refund those.
So still no magic, no. This is hard on me. I'm going to grab my Morning Star as an action.
All right,
That's
so the biting doesn't really go as planned. So with your last action, cling, this large morning star makes itself known from your backpack. All right, then at the start of our turn, we have a lot of things that are going on. First
Wait,
off,
when do we get to make our saves?
well, that depends on
Beyond you.
when you are in initiative order. You are going to be the first one to use to roll a check, because when you go down, you get moved to right before the person that downed you is in the initiative order.
Okay. Okay.
So, but we are top of round, so like the artifact wins overall. So first, the elemental spark from Deco. A 3 and a 4 for another 7 points of lightning damage,
Yay.
as electricity bursts into the side of Yenny.
How much HP does he have? Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking kill her. Sorry, am I like too
You're
enthusiastic about
behaving
this?
like a football fan, Charlie. Calm down.
Oh, I hate Jenny so much. She ruined.
All right.
She stands for everything that's wrong in my real life and my in-game life.
All right. So
Yeah,
with the
she reminds
electricity,
me of all the sex I'm not having. Fuck her.
Or not, that's the problem.
am I so good at my job as a game master, or are you guys just frustrated as hell? I can't tell.
Yes.
So,
Well, speaking as somebody that is not frustrated, both.
fair.
Why I said yes.
So, top of the round, however, Edge, you go ahead and roll me just a well, it's a flat check or a constitution check? I don't know.
I think it
it's
was
a flat check.
Well, she has
Is
a
it
+5
Constitution?
from the fortification.
Dying.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Condition, dying. Yada yada yada. Recovery checks. Recovery checks. Did y'all know this game has a lot of rules?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
they're,
well,
they're like
I can
at
grab the
least
book.
At least 5.
I have the physical copy of the book in the other room, and it is so big. It is such a huge freaking book.
Just like my... Anyway, it's a flat check. So the DC is equal to 10 plus your current dying value. So it's just a flat check. You can add the +5 to it, but it's not a constitution check. It is just
my
a
bad.
flat check.
That's cocked.
Uh-oh.
What is it?
I rolled a natural 3.
A
You
3.
rolled a natural 3?
Oh, that's not that bad.
Guys,
That's not
the
that bad.
chat
okay.
says everyone's frozen except for Edge.
Oh,
Well, I'm just sitting very still. That might
Nobody's
also.
Oh,
frozen.
yeah,
be-
yeah, yeah. No, thanks.
No, it's true.
No.
I'm just gonna move around a little.
Let me fix that.
Okay.
Thanks
So
for
that's a
noticing.
3 plus a 5, so that is a normal failure. Like for a critical failure, you just needed like a natural 1, and even with that, because of the +5 that you got, it wasn't a critical failure.
I think I
So your
might be
dying
using the
value
wrong
increases by
dice
1.
for Edge.
Okay.
It's
So-
just not helping me out.
Well, it's just like you failed 1 death save. It's not the end of the world. Everything's okay.
But I'm
But you're
dying
just
1
not-
now.
No, you're dying 2 now, because once you fall unconscious, you already get the dying 1. So it increases to dying 2. If you reach dying 3, you dead.
Okay.
Oh fuck.
And does the check get harder every time you get a dying? Because you said something about the check.
Technically, yes. Technically, the DC increases by 1 every time. So the next time, because her value is dying 2, she needs to make a 12 on the recovery check. But I will say, just like a little bit retroactively, there is a pulse. So Amunra, thank you very much, because I do think that the rest of the party members can use this one. The next roll that you have, all is increased. And next to that, let me just see if there are. Oh, and Edge, do remember that you also have hero points, and you can also use hero.
Right!
You can also use hero points. You can say, "I will use up
yeah.
all my hero points to just stabilize."
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna use both my hero points to stabilize. Thank you, Amon-Ra.
Alright.
You literally saved my life.
Yeah, for this time I will allow it, but technically, because you already rolled, we should have to wait to your next turn. But I do see that you basically just forgot that hero points can be used in that way, so we'll just say
Yeah.
you're using them and they're gone. But next time, we need to decide this before you roll for your...
There's 5
done.
rules, Wouter. This is really confusing.
I know. This is why I'm
Oh.
being lenient this time.
I'll mail the book to you, Abe.
Yeah, that's gonna help.
I don't
They'll,
know.
they'll need a truck for it.
Like in separate
definitely.
envelopes, every page in a separate envelope.
Every day.
I have the book downloaded on my laptop. Thank you.
Nice.
I'm missing a die.
Then
Oh, no.
read it.
I got a shield. How many does that add again?
+5 on your next on your AC for the next attack made against you.
Okay.
However, with Edge out of the way, Yenny is going to have her turn right now, and she is not looking good whatsoever. And let me just take a look-see right here.
I don't want it.
Let's see here. All right. Yeah, she is going to bolt. She looks towards one of the grates that is opened up with one of the scum that has just exited it, and she just goes, "Well, loves, I do think this is all of the lessons I can give for now. Have a good day." And she just pushes past you, Olam, and just tries to go and squeeze herself through the opening that the scum had just made. However, at this moment, there is a small little whisper that just apparates in front of her and just goes, "Heads up!" Just so she turns upward. she is distracted by that quite a bit. So we will say, because she needs to go ahead and use the squeeze through action. Squeeze. Ready skill.
Acrobatics based, I think.
Not fair.
Yes. Alright. Yada yada yada. Terrain. Okay. So I will say we will use some things that are also in Pathfinder, namely that you can roll twice and take the higher or lower result. So I will do that little rule for this one. See, and the lowest. Okay, so the lowest one is a natural one. So with that, it seems that the distraction was enough to. I do need to make sure if she critically fails.
Oh.
How about we take a little break? You get the time to crunch
I
all
already
of that?
have it. I already have it right here, to be honest.
Oh, fair.
No break for you,
Because with a. Well, okay. So at this moment, I will let you in on a little secret. I was debating if she would use a certain ability that she had that would also give you some information, but it would also give her a +2 bonus to her acrobatics. She didn't use that, thinking everything will be okay. But now, because of the natural one that she rolled, the total becomes a 13, the DC being 15. So that's still a failure, so that becomes a critical fail. So now, she does not only get through it, because if you fail on a squeeze through, you become stuck in the tight space. While you're stuck, you can spend 1 minute attempting another acrobatics check at the same DC.
She sucks.
So because of that, okay. So for the sake of this,
her truck dump ass is just like, it's beautiful, but it's stuck.
no. What you guys see right now is as she tries to like leap towards it, at the very last moment she gets distracted because of the heads up, and now you can see that her body is contorted in a certain horrible way, as if her whole body is made out of some like clay substance, and it just like squeezes in, and with it, as she becomes stuck in the grate, you can also hear some god-awful sound emanating from quote-unquote her. And as we are slowly turning towards the end of this combat, I will say that we can continue for a little while.
Can I, while I am unconscious, mentally, emotionally reach out to my mama?
Well, right now it's not your turn. Right now we need to go towards Tosh.
Okay.
All right. Well, I see my chance here. She's stuck. Tarush doesn't really have a non-lethal option here, but I think Tarush will.
Tarush the Impaler.
He will. Yeah, this. He will definitely go for the lethal option because holy shit, she is dangerous and we cannot allow her to live. So Tarush moves up. He moves past the scum, and I have a fierce attack again. So as the artifact empowers Tarush, he feels this. He feels more confident. He feels more angry even as he just moves his the sharp end of his staff into her face. And I might not. That would be a 9 plus 5 is 14 plus. No, is she flat-footed?
She is flat-footed. Sure.
19, yes.
Very good. Go ahead and roll
Minimum
damage.
effort.
I was like, no, it's not 21. But yes, thanks. Oh, my life is so good right now. My life is better than everyone else's. Just this moment.
How do you want to do this, Tarush?
No, yes.
Yeah, she had 5 hit points left.
Technically, she's not dead yet because she did have 11 non-lethal damage.
No, that's not how that works. It's
No,
only
no,
the non-lethal
it's
damage
the-
is the one that knocked it out.
Yeah,
It's only the killing blow that matters.
It's the finishing damage.
Yeah.
So as
Okay.
she's just like screeching as she's trying to move in, just doing this unnatural sound, Tarush's moves up, heavily overburdened by his armor, and he moves up his staff, and as she's screaming, he just moves it into her mouth. Is it by aim? Is it by chance? We're not sure. Probably the latter. but it just moves into her throat and just her shout is silenced as the spear moves ever deeper into her unnatural monstrosity of a body.
And as you do, you see that her gasp of air just like contorts and continues to like shapen upwards towards, like you get like the scream mask all the way up. There is no resistance for your spear, no bones or teeth. It is just mushy flesh that you push your spear into, and it sinks like a good feet into her before you pull it outward, and from the openness of her mouth hole you see like the purple ichor just emanate from it, at which moment the two scum that are still with you see this, and they quickly crawl back into their holes as the rest of her body begins to twist and turn. The large blonde braids turn into fleshy, dough-like appendages. The face itself concaves and all the color from it drains as well, turning into the same flesh. Her arms and legs become doughy and also droop out over the ground. And as you just mouth open, gaze over this monstrosity that is laying out before you, we will go ahead and take a little break.
Yes! Oh, that will give me 15 minutes to think of a one-liner after she dies.
And then we get back after the break and it's just job done.
We're just poking around.
We killed you. Can I
now?
Can I just state the absolute irony that I am a wizard and two of my coolest kills so far have been melee attacks because of fierce attack?
But like you can also now look at your spear pointed staff and begin to realize, like, why isn't every spellcaster doing this?
Yeah, like I chose the wrong fucking class. Oh my god.
You did. We could have used the tank.
Yeah.
But
or
with this, the sound stops. All of you are heaving and hoeing, and in 15 minutes we will see what this has wrought. All of you.
See you soon, chat.
Hey, 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 hey.
We're back.
And we're back.
So, to quickly jump back into the game, well, to be honest, no, we need a little bit more upbeat music because last we left off, our heroes had just felled Yenny Carpenter. Jennifer, the beautiful, dashing, a little bit creepy in combat player of the violin with a beautiful rapier bow combination. However, as Tarouche had just dealt the final blow to this person / creature, she turned back into her, what you believe to be her original form, a doughy, fleshy mass without form that can turn and twist and shape itself into all different kinds of forms. But while Yenny now lies dead on the ground, a person that you believe to be connected to the plague that you are trying to lift from this city, two other people are also felled. We have Jack lying unconscious, bleeding out, and Edge just beginning to make some sounds, stable but still unconscious as well. So before we turn into the normal encounter, we need to stay in the initiative order to see what goes on with Jack.
Fair
so
enough.
Tarouche, you have just dealt the final blow to Yenny. You only have a moment to catch your breath and to realize what this piece of meat is lying before you turn around and look towards Jack. Jack, go ahead and make me a flat check, please.
Don't roll a 1.
And you are muted right now.
I know.
Sorry.
I'm using a stone thing to roll my dice in, so it makes a lot of sound. But I rolled an 18.
An 18. All right. So you are stable right now. So as
wait, yeah, the both, right?
Oh, yes, indeed. So you get a +5. So that means that you were not only stable, you were all the way back to 1 hit point. As you fell to the ground, for a moment you... but then already your consciousness comes back to you and you turn to your abdomen. You can still ruined. You are still bleeding a little bit, but oh god, it seems not life-threatening as you thought it first was. So with that out of the way then, because of the pulse, thank you Amunra, we can continue our story in a little bit easier manner. So, the two scum that Yenny had summoned to her aid, seeming accomplices of hers, have retreated into the sewer system, and you are now all that is left, together with her dead corpse.
I'm gonna heal up.
Yeah, so I'm gonna leave, or in fact, Tarush takes a look backwards and is well aware that he can't really help in that situation, so he says, Crowan, Olam, please, could you help them? I'll deal with this. And he tosses aside his staff as it clings ding ding on the
before you toss away your staff, I will say that one other thing also happens, and that is that as the combat encounter is now subsided, the anti-magic field that emanated from the artifact is retracted into it, and you can feel the magic return to your staff and yourselves.
Still, I still toss it aside.
Okay.
Tarush does not have any need for it now, as he needs both hands, of which he's very glad, like he's wearing armored gauntlets, as he grabs the former Yenny, the artist formerly known as Yenny. He grabs the corpse and he starts, like, pulling it out of the sewer hatch he was trying to escape into.
And there is like some cohesion with like different limbs, but as you pull it, you can still see like the armor that this creature wore is still there. Like the equipment that it had on its person is still there.
While it was pretending to be a person.
While it was pretending to be a person. But now that you catch it and try to pull it out, like a little bit of the flesh gives way a little bit, and you elongate her body a little bit, but it does make it so that you can pull her free from the roster that you tried to push yourself through.
Nice.
Oh god. Ugh.
So, for our new viewers and raiders, we just managed to kill some kind of shape-shifting being that was pretending to be a beautiful human woman?
Yes, a beautiful human bard.
Yeah, bard.
With beautiful long blonde braids.
And was teaching a very infectious and toxic kind of magic to locals. So, and as it tried to escape, it managed to, turn back a bit into its original form, its more native shape. So Tarush is just pulling it out, and as the sounds and the weird gory details happen, he just groans, oh. But there's also a sound, a very clear overtone of admiration in his voice. Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, what is it? And I wanna make a roll to see if I can maybe identify it with occult.
Yes, each and every one of you can go ahead. If you are trained in occultism, you can go ahead and make an occultism check to see what the fuck is this thing.
Do I want to roll or do I want to just take 10?
Roll.
I'll roll. Yeah, sure. Oh, 16. So that's 24. I'm glad I rolled. Thank you, Vincent.
24. That's a success. I don't know if there are other people amongst you that are trained in occultism.
I have a 14.
All right. 14? Not enough, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I think
you do know a couple of things, Crowan. Like, you have learned that there are, like, many different kinds of creatures that can shapeshift into different, like, personas. But Tarush is the one that actually knows the name Faceless Stalker.
During the break, I made a comment about how this reminds me of an XCOM 2 enemy called the Faceless. But yeah, perfect. All right, so tell me more. What's the Faceless Stalker?
Faceless Stalkers are, well, that's about all that you know right now. They are creatures that are basically creatures that are affiliated with hard to piece that together right now. But you do know these creatures. They are basically minions to more powerful masters that can change their shape, but also require blood nourishments from humanoids to keep themselves alive and well. And you know that their physique indeed is just like a hump of malleable flesh that they can twist and turn into all different kinds of ways to impersonate pretty much anyone with striking precision.
All right.
You know, they're
I'll comment on that later. I think in the meantime, Crowan and Olam will try to help the rest up.
You do, however, also take a look over her, and you find that she has a nice little coin pouch on her person, as well as one other pouch we will get to later. And after casting a quick detect magic spell to see what kind of other things that she has with her, you find out that while beautiful, the beautiful bow and violin combination, the bow being like a rapier with like the string attached to it, being non-magical, but it is very well crafted, so it probably will fetch a pretty penny. However, you do find that there is this nice little brooch that she used to clip together her studded leather armor that she has with her, and even in this doughy mess, studded leather armor still looks pretty decent. But the brooch does give up a nice little abjuration enchantment.
All right, so what did you call the violin before?
Yes, so in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, you have, for different items that you use, for example, to play music with, like instruments, you have more well-crafted versions that are level 3, and this would be one of such items. It is a virtuoso violin.
All right, so I will keep that.
Yeah, so
And,
basically any tool that you have, like might it be like a tool to play music, or might it be a tool to like craft certain items, you can find a artisan's version of it, if you will, that is non-magical but will give you a +1 bonus. So Jenny Carpenter had a +1 bonus to all her performance checks while using this nice little apparatus.
Nice.
Yep.
All right, I will keep that most definitely, although I'll probably replace the rapier part, but we'll get to that later.
We might just want to set it though, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, I don't know. We haven't found this out in character yet, but Tarush is a connoisseur of music, so there might be. He's very happy with this.
Okay.
Yeah. So to give you a little bit of an idea, this would probably fetch like 50 gold pieces.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Okay, guess we'll sell. No,
Yeah.
no, we'll see. I'm joking, but yeah.
Gives a +1 item bonus to performance check using the instrument.
Okay.
So that's nice. All right, but that is all that you find on
Thank
Yenny
you.
as of now.
I guess I will, if I can, immediately make an identify item check for the brooch.
You can indeed. Let me just yada yada.
Give me that magic abjuration stuff. Give me a +1 AC permanently. Come on.
Well, you're not far off, to be honest.
Spoiler alert.
However, a good DM would already have put this in place beforehand.
Fortunately, we have a great DM.
Oh.
Fuck up.
So great DM doesn't have. Like, I'm giving him magic items. It's better that he's happy. He better be happy, goddammit. Right, so if we turn our attention to the battle map in a couple of seconds, namely now.
The battle map.
You do find that the brooch is the brooch of the lawless. It has a couple of traits: abjuration, chaotic. It is invested and it is magical. It is just a nice little worn thing. But this piece of silver jewelry depicts an artistic rendition of a dove with its wings unfurled in freedom and defiance. It can be used to fasten a cloak or cape. But the magical enchantment allows you to, once per day, use 2 of your actions to cast protection from law on you. Which does mean that
amazing.
that does mean that any lawful creature or opponent, you will have a +1 to basically everything against those creatures. And if it's a minion or if it's trying to possess you, that plus bonus goes up by to +3. So if you have like a bunch of robotic minions, for example, that they will not be able to touch you.
Nice. All right, so Tarush, as he focuses into magic, as he's holding the brooch, he senses its purpose, its power. He smiles, and he just clicks it to the left side of his overcoat that he's wearing over his armor, like a badge almost, and just click, tightens it on, and strokes it a bit. I'm sure you'll come in handy sometime. And yeah, let's go to the others.
So, while Tarush is inspecting Yenny's corpse and dragging it out of the sewers, quite literally, the rest of you are trying to heal each other up, I believe. What way?
I'd like to aid Crowan when he's healing them, because I'm very much not good at medicine.
You should probably try to hit a Jack. He has more odds to heal. I'm just going to try and heal myself, and I'm going to rely on Jack to heal the rest.
Well, all three of you, except for Jack, I'm afraid, still have the pulse that Amunra gave. So the artifact, the fourth wall breaking artifact that our viewers have at their disposal, is distributing out bonuses to all of you. So Olam, you can get a +5 to your first check that you do, and Crowan, you as well. So go ahead with both of you a medicine check then, if you try to heal.
I'm going to try first to heal up Edge because I feel inspired. So
very good.
I'm going to go ahead and roll with a +5. It becomes 21.
21? That's a success.
Yeah. Get 2d8, Edge.
Yay!
Do you want me to roll, or do you want to roll?
No, I'll roll. See how my new dice work. It's a 1.
Yeah.
I love dice superstition.
You have 2 of those, so you can roll the other one.
And that's another fucking... So I'm at 2 whole hit point.
I have a nice little video series that you need to watch on training your dice.
Is it similar to like training a pet?
Well, these are my Bork dice. So...
It makes even less sense, but it's nice though. It's funny. Okay. All right, so you take 2 points of healing, bring your total up to 3.
And then after those 10 minutes have passed, Crowan is also going to try to heal himself, and then he's going to hope that Jack is also good at healing.
Yes. Jack, you are also going to try and heal some bitches?
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
All right, so for the sake of this, just go ahead and... because you can do it quite quickly, right? You have...
I do have combat medicine.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll... just roll me 3 medicine checks real quick.
Cool, yeah. Yeah, so the first one is going to be a 22.
Nice.
Then I'm gonna roll twice.
The suspense is killing me.
Honestly, I don't know if the sound of dice rolling in the background is going to be a problem.
No, I like it.
I think I like if you would just let us hear the rolls.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the second one is going to be a 17. The last one I didn't roll too proper. It's a 9.
Okay, so that's still not a critical fail. So that means that for the sake of this, I will say that you guys are basically like taking an hour to both investigate what is going on, talk things over, and just get like all the bandages in play. So with both Crowan and Jack that are capable with healer supplies and like putting it all at the right places, we will say that all of you are back to full health at the end of this hour.
Full health.
Yeah,
that's
because you can keep treating wounds until you critically fail. So that basically means I was just asking Jack to roll 3 checks to just see how it goes. No critical fails. Okay, so for the sake of this, you guys take your time. You're good.
Awesome.
I only took 4 damage, which is surprisingly like.
No.
I mean, it's a big portion of my HP. Don't get me wrong, but it's not that much.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess while this is going on, I have one more question. You told me the loot, but I still wonder, might there be like a key amongst her possession. Their possession, I guess.
Yeah, there were two other things that Jenny was traveling with at as of this moment. One is a coin pouch. So with that, you open it up, and you can go ahead and roll me. What was it? 1d12 and 2d8.
1d12 and 2d. Wow. Okay.
Both separate rolls, by the way.
8.
Okay. That's
and
easy
an
enough.
11 on the d12.
Oh, damn. All right,
yeah,
so
that's absurd. I'm sorry.
Jesus. No, that's very nice for you guys. You guys are rolling in cash right now. It seems that Jenny had a very good day of giving lessons in the park and gathered a hefty amount of 11 gold pieces and 16 silver pieces that you can add to
nice
funds.
Maxime, I will give 9 gold pieces and 16 silver pieces to you.
Yeah.
All right, so the party fund is increased by said amount.
There's a Tarouche tax.
You cheap bastard.
And no one knows about this, but out of character you know, and that will torture you forever.
And there is indeed another pouch that you open up, and within it you find a couple of things. You find that she was carrying like a nice little snack to bring with her, as you find like a vial that you try to like focus on to see if it's magical, but it's not magical. You open it up and yeah, that's blood. That's a vial of blood that she's carrying.
Oh.
Yeah, you know that faceless stalkers need blood nourishment to survive. However, there are also two other things with it. There is a nice little key, although you can't really find any special markings on it or whatever, although you do figure that it's probably a house key from somewhere here within the city.
I was hoping for that, yeah.
And you do find another thing, and that is a nice little card with a sign on it, which says Guest of House Vedius. And on top of it is like the seal of the house. Probably used to
oh my god
gain entrance to some certain abode or sorts of like a noble house to show to the guards and get entrance and passage. Yes.
I have a very obscure lore skill. It's not nobility, but it's academia. Might that be applicable to this? Do they have any scholars in that house?
I'll say go ahead.
Yes!
I'll say go ahead.
Was it Vedius? Vitius?
Vedius.
Vedius.
V-E-D-I-U-S.
No, not a good roll. 13 total.
13. You understand that like this is basically just a carrier card for the house seal that has been like encrusted upon it by wax. So basically like a business card, if you will. From like a noble house, although the noble house itself doesn't really ring a bell, or like in the world of academia, you don't know the name Vedius.
All right, so sorry. Tarouche, as everyone's doing their healing, Tarouche is mostly doing the looting and thinking. And
there's excuse me. I'm looking over my notes, and sometimes I figure out some other stuff.
Go ahead.
There's one last little bit of information, and that is that the seal of the house might give you a little bit of information, and it is a V, but like both sides of the V are flourishing, and there are like small little waves atop of it, as if like two fountains of water are protruding from each side.
Okay, so Tarouche speaks out loud. House Vedius. And I allow everyone to make a society check. Is that a thing?
I mean, sure. If you're trained in society, I will allow you to go ahead and make a society check.
Can I use my lore underworld?
I'm afraid
this name has been dropped.
You can roll, but it's going to be a fail nonetheless because this name doesn't seem to be affiliated with the underworld in any way.
Right.
Oh, no. Okay.
I rolled 15 on the society.
15.
How much?
15.
15? All right.
Yeah.
26, baby.
Woo!
But didn't you already? Well, fair.
It was on academia. So, like, do I know any scholars? No. Do I know the house from anything else? Oh,
Fine.
Yeah. Oh, sweet. I mean, I would be okay with a no, but
It's okay. It's okay. All right. So, as you talk to yourself, it seems that you make yourself ring a bell. No, as Tarush, you came here to the city because of the Cerulean Circle at first. So you did some research on Farwater and like the different people that are here, because you know that a large network is very profitable for someone in your line of work. As a seeker of the Cerulean Circle, you need to be able to, get into a lot of different places without a lot of questions asked, and knowing the right people helps a great deal. One of these places might be the place where you already been through, namely the sewer system of Farwater. The sewer system of Farwater, which is being like kept by the water plants. However, there are also different noble houses that are also involved in different ploys within the city. And House Vedius is one of the houses that is closely affiliated with the water plant and the sewer system of Farwater.
Ah, it's a conspiracy. I love it so much.
It is House Vedius is one of the main sponsors and benefactors of the water plant. And while it is still like a minor noble house, they have been able to make a decent living within the city by sponsoring quite literally the dirty work.
I cannot describe to you how happy I am with this conspiracy. I don't know why, but it makes me very happy. All right, so Tarush, as he fingers the key and moves on to like try it on every door in this little alcove that we're in, he starts speaking up. What was the name again of the house? Terudius?
Vedius.
Wow, Vedius.
Vedyus.
I should write that down. Vedius. Okay, so as he starts doing this, he speaks. How's Vedius? They're a bit of a prime sponsor of the local sewage system. I think we've stumbled upon quite the conspiracy here.
Well. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Jack just burps out a little bit of blood over his own overalls.
But I think we've spent enough time on my checks. So I don't know if anyone else.
I suppose that Terush also shows the vial of blood to the party.
Yeah. I basically share and show this information is not something I withhold. Yeah.
Okay. So Troy goes with Olam. Saloon said something about the disease in the water, which we already kind of knew about, and in the blood. That might be relevant to this creature then.
Yes, she said air, crystal, and blood.
Oh.
So, literally blood then, but we were thinking water, right?
Yeah, yes, I was thinking that the water had also been contaminated, but maybe this disease is something else.
Yes.
Most diseases are carried in the blood, no?
I thought it might be metaphorical, but perhaps it is a bit more literal. Should we take this to the Cerulean Circle?
Might
For
be a good
investigation.
Can they perform tests on it?
They are more capable of it than any of us would be.
Are we sure we can trust them?
No.
Okay.
I was gonna say yeah, probably. Yeah, I think it's a good idea to bring it to Cerulean Circle. I mean, we don't have anything to do with it. We can't test this.
Well, I mean, the thing is, we have a bunch more gold, right? I'm just thinking out of character-ish. We have a new amount of gold.
You also still have a half plate that you wanted to sell, and you also have a set of 6 gemstones as decorations that you also
Nice.
wanted to sell.
Exactly. So we have funds. The thing is, either way, for you two, our medics, we need to buy some medical equipment. There's a lot of medical equipment in this game that we need. Might as well look maybe into purchasing like a. Maybe there's something among that allows us to do a little bit of looking at the blood before we hand it in to the Cerulean Circle.
Well, what we can always do is just keep some vials for ourselves, so that we can always do some tests ourselves, and then just hand over the body, like, here, do your test, check the blood, and then we also still have the blood ourselves.
And next to that, Tarush, like you have your contact now within the Cerulean Circle offices here. Just looking up the name real quick.
Munra, yes.
Cerulean Circle, where is he? Neil has this. But you also know that as a part of the Cerulean Circle, you could also just request space to do your own research.
Oh yeah.
As a seeker, you could apply for, hey, yeah, I'm just here, like as a part of my investigation. Just need to take a look at the local libraries and see what kind of information I can find. Is that okay?
Oh, that's a very useful option.
And you know, with your silver tongue, there might be some leniency within the Cerulean Circle.
Bouter, we've also been fed.
Yes. Oh my God. Don Deef. Thank you so much.
I got the Cheetos Chipitos, baby.
I am going with like a very classical piece of candy here. I'm going with gummy bears.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm gonna get a handful of gummy bears.
Lot of those bears.
Gummy bears are fucking awesome.
Uh-huh.
Like, they're so good.
Okay.
There's a reason that Steve from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs loves them so much.
I love that movie so much. It's
I love
great.
that monkey. I need a monkey thought translator.
Is that where the inspiration for Edge came from?
Nope.
Oh, fair.
Not maybe. But not
I actually voiced one little word sentence in the Dutch translation of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Yes.
So cool.
Was it hat?
It was no school. That's it.
Bilbo, you're like basically a celebrity now.
It was a fun thing
You're
to
in a
do.
movie.
I know the scene. It's an integral part of the movie. So well done.
Yeah.
I'll rewatch the Dutch. No, I don't think I can. I'm sorry.
watch it.
Not
There's
even
too
I.
much cringe for the good moments. So
Not even I could decipher my own voice from it anymore.
But speaking of gummy bears, reminds me of the meme, like, comparing the size of gummy bears to gummy worms paints a horrifying picture of the gummy world.
Nice.
And with that, we will turn back into our beautiful game.
Yeah, so Tarush is, with this new knowledge, he's gonna, mull it over as he's gonna try and find whatever house this key brings entrance into. Yeah. A lot of people might be very disturbed as they feel like as they hear random people trying to put a key into their front door before he finds the right one.
Yeah,
While Tarush is doing that, I would like to kneel down next to the twisted mangle mess of body and now see if I can emotionally, mentally reach out to Mama.
All right. So, in what way would you like to do this?
I'm gonna go into a half meditative state, not fully, but just looking over the body, taking it all in, and that creepy feeling that I got from it when I was fighting it. I'm gonna focus on that. With basically the question, is it evil?
All right. For the sake of this, go ahead and make me either a perception or a religion check, your choice. And I will say one thing, both skills will have different outcomes, so it's not just take the highest.
Yeah, I rolled a natural 2, so...
Yeah.
In that case, the outcome will probably be the same.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He's fucking... And it was such a fucking roller coaster, because it went from the 20 to the 18, and then it fell on the 2 in the middle.
That sucks.
So with a perception, that's 6.
It's 6. as you try to focus in on this creature, try to gaze into its lifeless eye holes that now are nothing but like hollowed out black abysses with the malleable flesh around it, no facial features left, is just awful. But it's no longer scary. It's no longer having any deathly
I'd like to beg
intent.
to differ, Bowser. A faceless, doughy creature, even lifeless, is still
Fair
gonna
enough.
freak me the fuck out, okay?
Even so, less so. And with that, with your perception, the only thing that you can perceive right now is the wounds that the rapier left within your abdomen, giving like this nice little burn. And even though you are still at your, again at your max hit points, the pain of these wounds you will be carrying for a couple of days. Why did it become an adventurer again?
Because somebody had to fucking die. That's why.
And someone needs to pay the bills.
Yeah, that's also true. Can I discern what killed it just by looking at the wounds since I was unconscious for that, or has Tarush
Sure.
yelled the story at me?
No, it's easily done. Like, even though the body itself is malleable and the flesh can like twist and turn a little bit, there is like, it's not like it's like an ooze or anything that can be split up or just go from one place to the other without like having a problem. No, it is a body, and you can still see all of the different wounds that are done towards it, together with the bite marks in the neck that Olam pierced it with, together with like the large like beaten up bruise on the side of the head from Crowan's hit, and the hefty amount of, I think 3 of them, stab wounds from Tarush's spear, which seem to be the overall death dealers here.
Is Tarush's staff still on the ground?
Yeah, I'm still. I haven't picked it back up, so yeah, it's still on the ground.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna pick it up and walk over to him.
Oh.
What are you doing?
I found a key. I assume the creature lives here. I'm trying to find which front door it belongs to.
Are you going to try every front door in a 3-block radius?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sure it will be very upsetting to many people, but the fate of the city has a higher priority. Yes?
We could try a different approach. And I hand over the staff.
I accept it. I grab
And
it.
as I let it go, like a little bit of like static electricity blue like siphons off of it. And I go a few doors down. And I
knock. All right, so to paint a little bit of a scene here, like this, you are in the backyard of certain people. You are knocking on the back doors. Of
Oh, that's even worse.
I love it.
Okay, I even out of character, I hate admitting this, but Tarush is kind of charming. So instead of knocking on the back door, I'm gonna go, why don't we try the front door and stop creeping the shit out of the people who live here?
Oh, this is a back door.
People. These are back doors.
Oh, that explains. Okay, yes.
Come
Let
on.
us. Yes, lead the way, Edge.
I'm gonna go around to the front and knock on the front door.
Yeah, I
Right.
follow.
A lot
I
less
follow
creepy.
Edge in this
Yeah.
awkward
going-
slow motion.
Going back to the main street and just like see what you can find there. You knock on the first door, and after a couple of moments, the door opens up, and a middle-aged man is just standing there, short black beard, black hair, in like what seems to be some sort of work overall. He has just like put off his large gloves, and you can already smell the scent of freshly cut wood emanating from somewhere within what you assume to be like his workshop, and just goes, "Yes, can I help you?"
So sorry to bother you during your time of work, sir, but we are looking for the residence of Jenny the Bard. We may have heard that she lives somewhere around here. You don't happen to know?
Go ahead and make a diplomacy check.
Vincent wanted to say something.
Diplomacy or deception? Because we didn't actually hear...
Your choice.
Okay,
Your
I'm gonna
choice.
see which is higher.
Yeah, I just wanted to
Don't
point
fuck
out
me.
we don't want to creep out the inhabitants of this block, but we are leaving a weird faceless corpse in the
I'm gonna
middle
go
of the
with
street.
deception, because that's gonna bring my total up to 19.
That's a good point.
And with the door still like half open, the man goes, Yenny who?
Jenny, the bard. You know, long blonde hair, kind of sexy in a creepy way.
I'm sorry, but I have no idea who you're talking about. Are you sure you're in the right neighborhood?
Not entirely. We're new. Again, so sorry for bothering you. And I
None
walk
taken.
away
I hope
from
you can
the-
find your friend.
Thank
The
you.
door closes.
So Tarush looks at Edge, and Vincent also makes a good point. Like, these people need to look out their back window, and they're gonna be.
What the fuck?
But he looks at Edge.
Monster!
Yeah. It seems that Yenny, she was. When I found her, she was ready to ambush me.
Yeah, she was obviously quite possibly leading us away from it.
Yes, perhaps we have some more searching to do.
And maybe stop trying to use that key on every back door you find.
Well, in fact, I would like to be sure and thorough. So I would like to try it on every door I find in this street, just to be sure. We would not want to miss.
We could be half a city away from where she actually lives, Tarush.
But imagine that we would miss her house simply because we feel awkward about trying it.
She's dead now. No one's going to be in her house.
But how would you imagine?
Hola?
Yeah.
Oh, well, they're like having their little discussion over how
Fair.
to disturb a lot of people. I want to ask Crowan to put her body into the openings of the sewers.
Yeah, Crowan was exactly thinking the same thing. So Crowan's just gonna, with a bit of discomfort, pick up the body.
Yeah, I'll help with that. So you
Quickly
don't have
ask
to do it alone.
Olam to check if there's no scum waiting to stab me when I go over the sewer entrance and just dump it.
It does take a little bit of effort because Yenny needed to squeeze through it, so you will have to squeeze her through it as well. But with a little bit of effort,
Stomp on the body.
Curb stomp.
yeah, they have people for this. They'll pick it. No, but like the body is disposed of. Do you guys want to take a moment to get like the nice little artistically made studded leather off of her, or
Yeah, that too.
just push it away? Yeah,
Like, you
Then
can just,
can,
like, push her through, like, clay.
yeah.
Is there any way to... Are there any markings on the leather armor or anything that could trace back the fact that she's dead or that she used to wear this armor?
I mean, it does have a couple of holes in it now because a certain spear pierced it. But other than that, it is a very nicely crafted, very good-looking set of studded leather armor. It comes with like a beautiful set of dark brown leather pants, leather boots. The top itself is tight as like a little corset into it, with the mesh of metal and studs that gives it a little bit of oomph, together with like a nice little collar that goes high. The sleeves end like halfway across the upper arms, but beneath that, Yenny was wearing like this beautiful, very nicely kept white blouse underneath it. I'm not sure who of you is wearing studded leather armor, but if you want to look sexy while doing it, well, Olam, if you want to look sexy while doing it, this might be suited for you.
Showing all that sparkly cleavage.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so
Does she even have mammary glands? Like, is it even gonna do anything?
6, I believe.
It's 6 boobs, baby.
Yeah, but in felines
that.
they only fill up when you're actually pregnant.
Yeah, but also Crystal gets to decide entirely, right?
Wait.
Okay, so I have a creative suggestion. We have a key. We have a scroll of locate. The scroll of locate allows me to look for an item or a thing based on me knowing what it looks like. So if we find a locksmith and get them to draw the lock that the key would work with, I would then be able to use the scroll of locate maybe to find the lock that it works with. Is that an idea? Does that make sense?
That's not how locks and keys work, bro.
I don't know.
If you
It's
need
a
to
bit
search for,
far-fetched.
well,
No, hey, shh. Wouter, what do you
Yep.
think?
I like to think with my players. So the spell dictates that you can also just say a longsword, and then it just finds the closest longsword. So if this key would be a key to a lock of a certain series that the locksmith would know of, like, oh yeah, this is like a standard lock that we have made for yada 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 yada, then you could search for such a standard lock, and then it would point you into at least the right direction of said locks.
Okay, fair.
But I'm pretty sure they're in the big city that you would have locks that are the same.
Those
Yeah.
chances are very high, yes.
Big chance that half of the city's gonna light up when you cast a locate
Yeah,
object on that kind
fair
of
enough.
lock. Yeah.
Well, okay, fair enough. Good point.
We need to figure out where she lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Good point. All right.
You can still ask a locksmith for any information about the key.
I think our best
Or
bet would
maybe
be
like-
that Vidia's noble. And
Yeah.
Would there be
Yeah.
like a city census or something? Where
Let's
they
first
have-
converge as a
information.
party before we.
Yeah.
This was just a little mind.
Yeah.
Thought
So before
thing.
before you guys go talk about all the different stuff, let me just help you a little bit by recapping all of the clues that you have found so far. You know that the scum are down in the sewers. They seem to be connected to the disease in some way, and they seem to also be connected to the crystals that you found. They are sacrificing different things, but you also found a clue with like the small little heart symbol on things that they are sacrificing in the sewers. They are cleaning up the traces of the ringing of this crystal plague. There you also found a certain like a 4-pointed star with 3 dots in it as a certain thing. You know that this person that you just killed, Yenny, was affiliated also with the Crystal Plague because she taught someone else some music that then corrupted yada yada yada. Indeed, that is indeed the sign I was talking about. Ava, thank you very much. You know that it is also somehow connected to the Aquan language, which was used to like write the spells down that people with the Crystal Plague within their body used. And now you also have points that are pointing you towards House Vedius. What you also know is that there is someone in the upper echelons of the Silver Sentinels that is probably in all of this, or at least that is something that your benefactor at the Silver Sentinels, the guards, suspected. The reason why the guards aren't able to find any traces of this disease or any leads on how to stop it is assumed to be because there is someone on the inside working against them. And you also had the suspicion that someone from the Cerulean Circle might also be involved. So you asked for people that left there, and you had a list of 3 names, and I believe that all 3 of you came to the understanding that Lyra Dracos was her name, was someone that was also acting suspicious because she left without any real reason given within the Cerulean Circle. So we have the sewer systems, we have House Vedius, we have the different clues that you don't really know yet. We have Lyra Dracos that you can track down and try to find.
And
a lot of different things.
And we still have a corner of a or a signature of a painter.
Yes, exactly. And that was like that heart-shaped, that strange heart-shape over there.
Exactly. All right. So let's say we're together again. I guess Tarush didn't find any house that the key fit into. So where
Like
to from
this-
now?
This was, just to reiterate, this was basically like the sign that you found with the painting.
Yeah. So my suggestion is, I mean, the next most obvious clue is the noble house, right? I mean, it's undoubtedly connected because this Yeni persona, it has to be connected to it. They're connected to the sewage system. That is no coincidence, right?
How are we going to approach a house of well standard, though?
I might have an in.
Before we
Gross.
get to...
Edge immediately hates Tarush again.
Sorry, Crowan.
Yeah. Before we get too ahead of ourselves, we have gathered several clues that we do not understand. Maybe try to investigate the vial, see if there's any library who knows anything about those insignias, and also a wise thing would be to look into the noble family before engaging with them.
Well, I would suggest a library at the lake house, but their system is absolutely appalling. So maybe we could... The Cerulean Circle, do they have a library that's accessible? That might be a better place to start.
They have many libraries. We can definitely take a look. We have access, and we have our friendly contact within the Cerulean Circle as well. So,
I'm
yes.
sure they have records on the house. And we might be able to find records of that artist signature as well.
I would expect artists to not have much of a librarical impact within the Cerulean Circle, I'm afraid. But the Noble House, it would also not be within the standard of the Cerulean Circle. They are more interested in magical opportunities, magical landscapes, magical phenomena. But I could, like I said, I could definitely have an in with the Noble House. Let's not worry about that. You make a good point, though. We should investigate the blood. We should investigate all the other clues that we found. The heart, the split heart, the blood. What else? There are quite a few things we could go with.
Should we secretly and subtly let the captain of the guard know what we have found so far, that he might be able to steer his investigation a bit?
We do not yet know how secure the information that we give to the captain would be. If there is someone who wants to counteract his research, he might have a spy that knows what he knows.
Crowan, as if to say...
I see it.
As if to say that you should shut the fuck up. The artifact is continuously throwing damage into your face. That's 11. And
I just take off my backpack and shout inside, like, would you knock that out?
17 points of total damage as water, electricity, and fire just shoots out in unison from the backpack into your face. Crow just goes, well, I think...
Why? I love it. It's so...
I don't know. There will come a day when, like, a viewer just charges up all of the llama points and then just goes all out and TPKs the party in an instant.
Don't give them ideas.
Yeah, no,
That's not a good plan.
I mean, yeah, they playfully mention it every now and then, but don't make them think that it's an actual possibility. I like this character.
How much damage did he take? One more time?
No, I'm a whore. You can buy anything from me.
17.
Oh my
You're the
god,
worst
that's
daddy ever. You're supposed to protect us.
It's like 2/3 of your HP right now?
I was full, so I'm no longer full.
No. Crowan is like talking to you guys so well. Yeah. Oh god. Oh, the pain.
Why?
Tarush looks in amazement at Crowan. Are you okay? Why?
Mike, why?
Why? We should put... No, I like the artifact. And Tarush unnaturally, without explanation, changes his mind again.
You guys are like completely 30th level charmed by the artifact.
Yeah.
That's basically what happens.
Jack doesn't say much. He just casts shield, just like
Just to be sure. Just to be sure.
just to be sure.
For the sake of this, Jack and Crowan also take out their healing kits again and get Crowan back up.
I don't think we should get off this easy, but
Well, technically, it takes an hour. When you treat your wounds once, it takes an hour before you can do it again. So,
No, I do believe that you can keep doing it. Here, wait. You guys converse on what the fuck you want to do.
yeah.
So
Right.
Can we buy a ring of resistance or something? Because I'm feeling he's gonna do this again. The artifact.
why does it hate you so much?
What did you do the one night you had it in your room? Did you talk to it? Did you piece it off?
Every time the sparks come out of the artifact, I somehow see a mysterious number, a 4 and then a 20. I'm not sure what it means.
Serious.
Crowan, are you okay?
I feel battered.
We need you. And we need you to not be dead. Can you assure us this?
Nothing is certain in life, my friend. Especially with an artifact that just spews fire, water, electricity, and God knows what. The gods knows what.
Oh, I love it. Someone in the audience has it out for you, and it's kind of funny. I mean, it sucks for you, but it's kind of funny. Okay.
Schadenfreude, making me feel glad that I'm not you.
All right, so sorry, focus. So Tarush
I
looks around
completely
again.
forgot what we were talking about, by the way. Crowan was making a couple good points, but...
All right, so I say we investigate the clues we have. Yes. In the meantime, I shall create an inn to this noble house. I'm sure it will be easy. But we also need to find wherever Yenny's house was. Do we have any ideas?
Maybe the guard person knows where people live in this town?
Like a
Census.
city census or something.
Oh, yes. The Empire is a bureaucratic nightmare, but it has its advantages. Good idea.
What we could try to do is to get somebody who is stealthy. Are there a lot of homeless kids around in this city?
There are a hefty amount of beggars and homeless people that in some certain way, shape, or form have found their way into the city, although most of them are trying to be excluded outside of the city gates, but it seems that they always find a way in. Next to that, do also remember that as a little token to give yourself a little bit more oomph by with conversing with the guards and the local officials, you are still carrying an insignia of the Silver Sentinels, the local guard, arm of law, etc., etc.
Do we have one each, or
no, just the one. They don't hand them out as a bundle. But for example, like the idea that you guys could walk up to the guards and just go like, "Hey, part of an ongoing investigation. I need to figure out how this key works. How can I find out?" Like that's something that you could try to do.
Well, I was mostly thinking about like, I don't know, hiring somebody from the Thieves Guild or paying homeless kids some money to
could also
bring a message to the captain of the guard in exchange for where could we find information on where Jenny the Bard would live.
That could also be done, of course, but then you do have to realize that it will take more time because the message needs to travel to the guard captain and then the message needs to travel back to you. So unless you're just going to say, like, I will be standing here waiting until you return.
No, I would tell them to bring the answer to the lake house.
Yeah, sure. That could also be done. I mean, depends on how trustworthy you do find one of these scallywags on the street, but of course.
Crowan is thinking of going to the city library, basically the biggest library in the city that is not affiliated to any of the factions.
Once again, there are no public libraries of the city in this day and age. In this day and age, like most libraries are kept by clergy and like different establishments. So there is no real city library. There probably is a city library, but or like city, what you call it, like database, if you will. But that is not open for the public. But there are a lot of different places that do keep records on all different kinds of sort of things. Most of them the clergy, Cerulean Circle being another one.
So Cronin is going to go to the one most likely to have records on symbolic emblems and.
You tell me which one that is. And also, I'm hearing 5 different ideas from 5 different people.
Yeah.
What do you guys want to do?
Yeah, we need to discuss this in character.
We're frozen again.
Oh, we're frozen again?
Oh,
Yeah.
God damn it.
Gasp.
Fixing.
Well, for me, for Cronin, it would make the most sense to go to the lake house again and check the library, because I think that's the most diverse thing when you can work with different information. So he think his best would be there.
Okay, but right now, all of you are talking towards me. You guys should be talking to each other to figure out what you as a party are going to do.
I think I will see if I can join Crowan in searching the lake house. There should be somebody who can help.
I have apparently angered the artifact, so I'm gonna put some distance between me and that thing. So you'll see me at the lake house.
Will ever save you.
Looking at the library.
Well, as I said, the library at the lake house is an organizational mess. It has no administration. You're probably better off asking the high host if he knows anything about a certain subject, or if he knows
Also
somebody
an
else
option.
knows anything.
I think that's a good plan, yes.
Oh, and he knows a lot of people, right? So maybe he just knows where Jenny lives. I do think maybe we shouldn't split up again, because every time we do, one of the 2 or 3 parties get into a fight, and that's not very pretty.
Well, that's usually what happens in city. And I winked at her. Sorry, that was a joke. I shouldn't do this. I know.
So we should split up.
No, we should probably no longer split up. I do
Because
not feel like dying again today.
And we probably all are a little bit in danger because we kind of killed someone that's probably pretty in charge of that scum people.
Oh, yes.
We're not in danger at all, I think.
We should stick together. Let them come.
To look around and see if I can find a homeless person who is somewhat, like, not completely, like, elderly, but getting there.
Sure, go ahead and make a perception check.
So like Charlie.
Yeah. Ooh, that's good. That's 16 plus 4, 20.
20. All right. As you guys are making your way towards the lake house, you keep an eye out for such individuals, and eventually you do find someone that you feel like that should be the right. No, wait. You know what? Scratch that. Make the lore underworld check.
Oh, nice.
Oh, the same roll for that
Of
because
course.
I'm scared to roll again.
Freaking skill for that. No. Take the 16. I'll give it the 16 for you. So what's your?
That's the same. That's plus 4.
Still 20. All right, but it's a lore, but it's a lore skill, so that's way more effective because lore skills are very like pinpoint and very like specific about certain things. The DC for those I always said lower.
Use the homeless network.
Yeah. So same thing happens, but this time you are very, very confident that you know how to do this. And as the rest of the party is just walking along a little bit, Edge just walks towards like one side of the road where you can see one beggar sitting. They put up one hand and just like loom over this person and just begin to talk a couple of words. And the rest of you can just see a nod in understanding. A couple of coins come in. Piece of paper comes in the other. And the man just begins to walk away. Tick, tick, tick. And Edge joins the rest of the party once again.
Let's go.
What?
Just like that?
What happened?
I asked him to convey a message to the captain of the guard and to bring the answer back to the lake house.
I see your value now, Edge. And I mean, Turu's just obviously joking or teasing, but still.
But Edge is still mad. Like, Edge is even mad when you give them a compliment.
Yeah.
What do you think happens when you
There's
joke?
a difference between a compliment and saying, I see your value now. That is
Only just now.
definitely a thinly veiled insult.
Okay, the last time Tarouche was like defending your entire species and attacking racist people against your species, and you were mad at him.
Yeah,
So-
because he said, yeah, no, not all tieflings are evil. Look at Edge. And I was like, you can't say that to somebody you just met.
There's
You can't
no
say
way
that
to
to
say
Are you
someone
like,
you
are
just
you
met
implying
who
I'm not
has a
evil?
temperament. Jesus Christ, Charlie. Do you
There's
want
no
to? Do you
winning.
want to fight? Is that what you want? Because I will fucking punch Tarouche in the face right now.
Roll
I'm
initiative.
so turned on right now.
So,
Yeah, Edge is fighting the
go.
urge to punch. Is just gonna clench their fists and keep walking.
so
Yeah, no,
eventually,
I noticed that you were starting to like me, so I needed to fix that.
No, you had my respect for 5 seconds, and then you made some sort of stupid remark 5 seconds after that, and it was all status quo again. Don't worry.
Yeah, no,
Edge still hates Tarouche.
it's like a Simpsons episode. But yeah, Wouter, sorry.
as you guys walk through the rest of the city, a long walk ensues as you guys are half an hour, 45 minutes underway. Your feet are getting tired, up until you turn one last corner, and once again, you see the beautiful, outstretched, wide wooden open doors of the lake house. The gigantic domed structure with 2 domes next to it, almost greeting you as a familiar friend. The square in front of it, beautiful but empty as you walk over it and enter the main hall with the high roof, the large outstretched area with different tables and chairs. The lake house never seems to be completely empty. There is always some patron in here spending their hard-earned coin on hard-earned leisure. And as you guys enter, you can see familiar faces behind the bar, being ready to serve different drinks and beverages and other kinds of food items to accompany them. As the hour right now would be in the late afternoon, I believe, somewhere around 4, maybe like crashing towards 5, as you guys make your way back here. A little bit early for dinner, but just the right time to get an after-work drink for those that are early retires of the day.
I
So-
very much like a very, very strong drink. And make it a double.
You walk up to the bar, and it seems that these bartenders do indeed know their stuff, because you have only stayed here for a couple of days and they already know every single one of you by name. Edge, they greet you with a smile on their face, already have your one beverage being tapped as you approach it, and quickly grasp another one to accompany it and push it towards you. They aren't even asking anymore, they're just putting everything on the tab of the pack.
I love guys. And I put down silver as a tip.
And that is how they make their earnings. All right, as all of you are
The
seated...
first one is down before I leave the bar.
Nice. As all of you take your seats around the table, what do you do?
Well, Edge, I think you should ask that guy, because you seem to be like special kind of close.
You're good friends.
We had sex.
A special kind of close. I don't know.
They subscribe to the same god. That also helps.
That
Yeah, see, you like same god, so maybe you guys know each other better, and I'm not sure how he feels about the rest of us. So
it's
Yeah.
not a big deal to you?
what?
The sex.
Me.
The what? I just don't I don't know.
No, I'm
Um,
asking Edge, sorry.
Oh,
It's not a
Is
big
part
deal
of
to you?
life.
Very well.
Leave and let leave.
I come from different climate.
You don't say.
Please, Olam. You were
What?
about to say?
The only thing I was saying is that Edge maybe should ask if he knows where Jenny lives.
I think I agree with Olam. Yes.
All right, and I groan a little bit as I get up from the chair because my abdomen is still slightly perforated.
Just slightly.
And I'm gonna go see if I can find the high host.
I don't think he can help with that. The opposite, maybe.
So what you're saying is you're going to find the one that more than slightly perforated your abdomen.
He consentingly perforated my abdomen.
I mean, I hope so.
Oh, that was
Otherwise-
definitely consensual. I was on him
okay,
from like the first second.
Wow, chica, wow, wow, baby!
It's your NPC, Wouter. You should know.
And well, it happened behind closed doors.
I rolled an 18 Constitution. Okay, we
Yeah,
both had a
sure.
lot of fun.
I mean, he's level 20 or something now. Not that high, but still. You stand up and you gaze, and once again, as you gaze the entire room, just slightly behind one of the large pillars that keeps up the roof of this large dome structure, you find sitting next to a table, Zorel, the water ganassi, the water elemental person touched by the elemental plane of water, sitting there. His long, black-haired braid just touching the middle of his back, his beautifully groomed black beard and a goatee with matching mustache and connecting, perfectly shaven to a point, is just sitting there and apparently is having some sort of like game of both dice and telling stories, as he is like saying a couple of words, then he is rolling some dice on the table, then and then goes in probably some form of truth or dare to the one that rolls the highest or lowest, who can say. But he's having a good time.
Oh man, last time he was in the middle of a conversation. Now he's having a good time playing a game. I don't want to interrupt his shit again.
He's the high host. His whole freaking deal is exactly what he also did to you. Make you guys feel at home and make you return to his establishment.
Oh my
Make
god,
me feel at home, wink wink.
No, but it's
was
not
nudge,
even
nudge.
it's not even implied. Like the entire thing of the lake house is that it tries to create a very welcoming and friendly environment for all
Yeah,
different
no,
kinds of travelers.
this was 100% out of character Afe speaking, because Edge is probably not even bothered by the fact she grew up in a temple of Avandra. She's not
Yeah,
gonna
and-
worry about shit of like, wait your turn.
And just because it is like clear that they are doing their job doesn't mean it's not genuine.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I walk over, and as soon as I make eye contact, I give a little wink, and I lean in and say, "Could I borrow you?" No, Charlie, not like that. That's just gross. Okay,
No.
I do it subtly.
And Sorel does say, speaking quite of the quite literal devil, here they are. Damn, you weren't joking. White tiefling, huh? Yep. So,
I hiss
Edge.
a little bit at the person that just said that.
Edge,
Just
Edge,
a little.
Edge, play nice. They're new here.
Ow.
They still have to get used to the wide plethora of tastes that the large city has to offer, but they will learn nonetheless. They're lost as well. So, how can I help you today? How did your adventures go? I see you wince a little bit. Did the sewers prove formidable foes?
The sewers, not so much. I take him a little bit out of earshot from the other patrons. You remember that you put us onto the trail of your Bardney Sanone,
Yes.
and we found out that she was being taught carpenter.
Jenny Carpenter, you say? I'm afraid the name rings no bells, but
That's a-
Not, I don't want to correct you, but he did send me to the park where Jenny Carpenter.
Yeah, he does
know
He
Jenny.
already mentioned the name to him.
crap. I didn't
It's like,
check my
you
notes.
did, didn't you? I was like,
Excuse me. I have a lot of notes, okay?
Bombs
Sometimes I make
drop.
mistakes.
Just saying.
It's
So,
okay.
yes. Yeah, the thing is he knows a lot of people. So,
Yeah, fair.
really now.
Yes, and unfortunately, we found out that not only does this Jenny have a much larger role in the whole scum and crystal infestation, after killing her today, we have found out that she is a form of shapeshift. A gruesome thing to behold. I will spare you the details.
I keep a table in the corner right over there for private matters. Take the rest of your pack members with you. Join me there for a moment.
And I kind of work towards the table that the rest of the pack is sitting at, and I just gesture my head and follow the high host to the table.
And as each and every one of you is seated there, he already has a drink in his hands, and he just puts his elbows on the table and goes, "All right, so now tell me everything." And that's where we end today's session.
Nice.
Fair.
Ah, just when things got interesting.
Nice. We're gonna have
You
a...
went down, Edge.
Yeah, I know. It's true. Leave him wanting more.
Yeah. No, but I feel like we're gonna have a few interesting revelations next session. What does this guy know about Yenny Carpenter? Also, not self-plug, but like, what is Tarush's connection to noble houses? But also, what the fuck is happening that's connecting the scum to the crystals, to the sewage noble families, to the city administration? Like, there are so many connections that we're going to be able to hopefully undo, violently.
Should be doable for the likes of you.
Yeah. And hopefully without an anti-magic field this time.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Likewise, slowly but surely, all those different story threads that you thought were just like separate things, they all come together in some certain shape, way, or form. Which I really like to see, like the glint in your eyes, like, oh my god. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. For now, however, I need to go over my notes and make sure that I know what Zorel knows. And I hope to see you all next week.
Yeah.
We had a blast here. You guys took down a 4th level foe, the highest level problem that you have yet to face. So that's
Cool.
a nice little chunk of experience points coming your way as well.
Yeah.
Ave, you already put it in the chat, but indeed, all the music that is composed and that you can hear right here is composed by our very own Charlie. And it can be found in different places.
All that beautiful
So, yeah.
music.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
So that's how you go answer the question, like, okay, so how are we going to put music in our videos for YouTube, because we can't use copyrighted music? And then Charlie goes, fuck it, I'll make my own with blackjack and hookers, which is actually what you hear in the background of this song. So
Yeah, they're
Blackjack
blackjack and
and
hookers.
I do a lot of hookers and blackjack. I mean blackjack.
he does a lot of black hookers, is what he's saying.
No, but for what it's worth, you can find most of our soundtrack. I mean, I'm making new stuff recently, but you can find it on Apple Music. You can find it on Spotify. So if you're playing your own games, feel free to, use it. I get like 0.0000001 cent per run that you use it.
But still, though, the idea is what counts.
It's just nice for people to
Loving
have.
the self-deprecation there.
It's,
where somebody's like, oh man, this music's so cool, where can I find it? And you're like, yeah, well, it sucks. So.
I mean, you're not a real artist if you don't hate your own products,
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
That's like
true.
a thing,
That
right?
is- that
Yeah.
is-
Like, your taste is
Woo, so
you're
real.
a bad person for listening to my music.
I'm just, exactly. I'm just
My music's
conforming
bad,
to
you're
the.
bad for listening to it.
You just listen to my generic RPG music, and maybe you'll have a decent game sometime. No,
So,
no.
for now, We will be off. We will all be listening to Charlie's music and hating ourselves. We hope you do too. Enjoy the last hour of your weekend. We love you, and we hope to see you here next week when perhaps some revelations are in store.
And happy Valentine's Day tomorrow,
Happy
wonderful
Valentine's Day. Oh, yeah.
nerds!
Oh,
all of you.
Yeah, you enjoy your capitalistic, beautiful romantic
Jesus,
day.
could you not be complete left for 2 seconds, Charlie?
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.